Okay, third time's a charm, hopefully. Oh gosh, 3 new streams? Wow, this is gonna be crazy. Hopefully third time's a charm. Huge oil requirements of the Groton, but no. Oh yeah. No good way to. Oh man, the oil game. Nice, it worked. Thank goodness. Just need to adjust the settings a little bit. But anyway, hopefully you can actually read things now and see things. Woot! 1080p. Yeah, yeah. Only took me digging through the settings quite a bit. Okay. Thank you, Google. Okay. Well then. Okay. Are they settled on Crustle yet? It looks like Flygon's settled. Crustle's not settled. Okay. Are they? Do they have it updated in here yet in production comparison that I can input a Flygon to run comparisons? Because that's what really matters. Hey, it looks like... Wait. Yes, they have it settled in here. Okay, we actually can run comparisons. So, base Mono Flygon makes 67 avocados. How much is that in comparison? That's pretty good. 28 is... Wait. 28 times 3, 84. Cool. 84 is the quote-quote meta call. Now, here's a fun thing. Okay. It's better now. 3 hours of Salamence and Flygon talk, please. Crustle's pretty cooked. I don't think Crustle's cooked. It's just going to be more niche. But anyway, we're going to do a little interesting thing here that they just recently added to Rain on X. And I learned about this tool not that long ago. As far as this tool goes in Rain on X, it's a new one they just recently added. You can calculate the probability of the same or better Pokemon based off production of something. We're going to go with avocados here. And we're just going to... My computer's pretty strong. I'm just going to make it be all possibilities and run a comparison of either one. Just to see. What is the probability of... Oh, wait. Of making 84 avocados a day or more? Of catching a Pokemon that can make 84 avocados a day or more. When you full invest. And I'll be doing this for some more comparisons in the future. This is a really useful tool for calculating out matching probability % chances. It's a pretty neat one. At level 60, I think, is what I was looking at, yeah. Okay, so Crustle can't, based off current predictions. That's a bit rough for it if you want it for avocados. So it looks like Flygon's just gonna be the main avocado farmer, for the most part. Okay. Okay, so it looks like about 1%. You don't need to use Nitoyan for better simulation anymore? I don't even know what Nitoyan is, so... Oh, is that... Oh, it's this one. Do they have a app for simulation like that? IV Calc, Research Calc. I don't think this is what What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know that much about this one. I haven't actually looked into Nitoyan at all. But anyway, they have this. That's a new tool that just got released by Rain on X. Unfortunately, it is premium only, but I have premium access, so... Anyway. Crustle... oh, you don't... Okay, Crustle still has 0% for ingredient draw for avocados, right? Oh, that could be the case. Ingredient draw probably isn't accounting for it, so it's probably just looking at its... Let's see... Is it actually proccing the skill how it's supposed to? Yet, in the calc. Yeah, it's making 0 off its ingredients, so that's why Crustle isn't producing anything yet. That explains it, because yeah, obviously it's not going to make a lot of avocados if you're not using its skill. So, in order to get a Flygon that meets the meta call with my background settings of my 5.25 procs per day of 18.1 energy. And then also no good camp ticket active. Roughly 1% of Flygons are going to be able to meet that call of 28 avocados per meal. 1% of caught ones. That is 2.1% of possible combinations. 1% probability of catching one like that, because different subskills have different levels of probability. For greater than or equal to 84 avocados per day, with all subskills and natures being possible. Now, if we look at it with a single gold subskill locked, because this is going to be most people's catching experience, Metacall also needs good camp ticket. Yeah, I'll run good camp ticket comparisons as well. I like to always try and make it so that it has it even without good camp ticket, though, when running comparisons, just because I think that matters a bit. Like, it does matter, and it's a nice extra threshold to have a 20% clearance when having good camp ticket active. Okay, Rick Russell, if you give it skill up nature and skill up M, we'll proc about 5.9 times per day. Well, if it's about 5.9 times per day, times 18 ingredients per proc divided by 3, because there's 3 different ingredients, that's about 35 avocados. If you have a mono one, I was seeing here, it's looking at about 20, so that's about 55 avocados a day on average. So probably less than what Flygon's got. Can it reduce it? Probably, but it's probably more for making gratin, whatever it is. Looks like Crystal's base ingredient rate is pretty high, though. You might be able to catch and still treat it like an ingredient specialist. It's just hurting in terms of like how big the procs are. 124 is a much smaller list than 257, although it does benefit more from the expert mode bonuses, so that's a whole different thing. Also, if you get bug type berry at expert mode green grass, or one day when they have expert mode wait, where is bug? Oh wait, bug is favored at one day when there's, because Flygon's not favored at the last at Amber Canyon. So one day when they release expert mode Amber Canyon, like when I'm 50, then you'll have Crustle for that avocado productivity specifically then. If we say 6 times it has 1 in 3 for avocados, it would get roughly 36 avocados per day in additional. Yeah, basically. To 40 at 60. Okay, Crustle is cooked if you're using it for avocados only. The thing is, like I said, this is their intention. Look at the broader picture. There's just ingredient draw S, Crustle. How much coverage can it get with the gratin? That's a great question, because what is the gratin in terms of how many ingredients it takes? It takes only 22 avocados. That's only 66 per day. And Crustle can pull that. The question is, how much oil is it pulling? Now, granted though, it's gonna not be making as many avocados because it'll be... So an ABC Crustle. Here's the question. If you have a decent one that has help speed M, skill trigger M, this is just like the okay Crustle. At level 60, it's making 6.25 procs, based off the calculations that I'm running here. Now, granted, these are unsettled values, so it's going to look different. But 6.25 procs times 18 divided by 3. That's 37 avocados. Plus roughly 7. That's 44 and a half per day. That's 2 meals worth for the avocados. Now, for oil, 37.5 plus 35. What's that? 37.5 plus 35, roughly 72. Once again, that's only about 20 shy of the Metacall. And then potatoes, 21.5 plus that additional 30-something. That's getting closer. That's almost actually meeting the 60 that's needed for this meal. If you have a really good one, or if you were to throw a good camp ticket on... Oh, this is with good camp ticket. Okay, that doesn't help it that much. But if you were to catch a really, really solid one, say that also had just a skill-up nature, or like, I could see this actually, like, potentially pulling through, because that's getting up an additional proc per day. 7.34. That's an extra 6 of each. It's cooked if you're looking at mono, for sure, which most players do, but I am willing to bank on this Pokemon. If I catch a good one, I am building around it. Because I think there's strength here that a lot of people are going to miss. How many herbs does ABB Flygon give? I guess that's a question we can ask. Probably not even close to what Dragonite can... Not even close. Let's see. Dragonite, level 60. Yeah, base Dragonite with... Oh, wait. I guess... Yeah. It's making, like, 70% what Dragonite can make. Until it's power crept. Here's the thing. Power creep is a concept that is innately flawed to discuss. I made a video about this in the past. Power creep exists, but it's not something to stress yourself about, because even when new, more powerful things come along, you may not use them necessarily at that point, but there's still something powerful. You haven't lost value in that thing because there's now something stronger. The reason why that happens in, like, competitive Pokemon is because now the old options are being put face-to-face with the new options that strictly power creep them. So if you have one Pokemon that's fast and physically offensive in an earlier generation, and then you have another Pokemon that does that but better, is going to get outsped and killed, that's now useless because you need to advance to the newer technology to progress. But there's no problem with sticking on something that's been power crept in this game. So I wouldn't stress yourself about power creep, because it also is a pretty slow advancing game. And even if this theory gets power crept, doesn't matter. You still have something powerful. I still use Zing Zap Cola despite it being power crept twice now, because I have good teams that are based around it. So I wouldn't stress yourself with power creep. Yeah, I will make that point time and time again. Can almost make Metacall after main skill seeds and good camp ticket full investment. That is the biggest problem with it, is that it takes skill seeds. I feel like it might cook when accounting for the rest of the team. Yeah, that's the thing, is if you can make one of the most powerful meals in the game with stockpiling, a little bit of creative stockpiling usage, a Crustle, one other Pokemon for the last ingredient, whatever it is, I forgot what it is off the top of my head, and then have 3 flexible spots, that's huge. That's awesome. I still think that ABA Dragonite plus ABA Charizard is a phenomenal combo, despite Corn Kima Curry been power crept for months, almost a year at this point. Actually, no, over a year. That was January of 24, I think Lapis was added. So, despite that meal being power crept... Oh, wait, no, I guess you didn't get power crept till later. Despite that meal being power crept for basically a year at this point, maybe over a year, I still think that's a very good, solid combo, because you're making a pretty good meal, maybe not the best, with 2 Pokemon. I can make much stronger teams than most quote-unquote meta teams that make the strongest meal these days, if you're giving me some time in the calculator. Okay. Is Flygon better for herbs than Gengar? Maybe. I don't know. Gengar is weird because it's more of a pseudo Berrymon that also makes a good amount of herbs. It's slightly worse for herbs. Sleepers are hurting for main skill seeds, though. He has a +1 to Toxtricity. He needs skeets. That's very true. Niche, but a beast if you have an amazing Crustle and you want to cook Groudons 3 times a day with good camp ticket. You barely need much help. That is crazy. Yeah, I think there's potential there. If I catch a good one, I will be investing. Just because I think a lot of people are writing it off, and a lot of people will write it off because the meta is so gosh darn mono-focused. I think this is their best attempt and their only decent attempt at making ingredient draw good. I think they actually did all right with it here. And this is, if Crustle flops and nobody uses it, then ingredient draw as a skill is innately flawed and will never be good. This is this is its real trial, not Honchkrow, not Mawile. They had problems with those ones. This is their best shot at it. 41 milk per meal. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of insane, but actually not really when you... The thing is, the milk producers in this game are pretty solid, really good at making a lot of milk. So 41 milk to meet the call actually isn't that insane. I guess I'll just show you here. If we do a Pokemon stat search, like I said, this new tool, if I'm to make it all the milk producers in the game, let's see, not that, we want this, milk. Everything that's an ingredient specialist, we'll also add toxicity because it does make milk, but that's the only, like, weird one. Use, like, the 3 primary milk producers are these guys. We'll make sure that we add a plusle to the team, I guess, or something, just so that toxicity actually makes milk. All the different possible things. And we want to meet a metacall of 123. I think that, yeah, 123 milk per day. What are the odds? Let's see. Wait, do I have to log that again because it's gonna... Okay, it's not perfect. I need to log all this again. Great. Okay. It's best that we're getting the Crustle talk out of the way now. Okay, I'm glad I went to drop this week to Berry Bomb with my Entei because now I can catch Trapinch too before next week maybe. Gotta make the Salamence and Flagon talk even better. Agreed, we know what the others do, but Crustle is more complicated. Yeah, it is more complicated, and also it's gonna be more controversial because of how mono-focused the community is. AAB Dragonite, AAB Flygon has Cope Synergy? It's Cope synergistic? Oh, yeah, I guess it does. Dual synergy there. I mean, that's gonna make a lot of... How big is Flygon's C-proc of soybeans? It's gotta be big. 12? Okay, so it will make more soybeans than needed. But ABA Dragonite's gonna be pretty solid with the... That's interesting. Maybe there's a potential there if you're willing to overinvest. Or, not overinvest. Hey, if I catch a really, really good one that's AAC, I'll consider it. I'll say that. Key question is, do you want to spend those seeds? If I catch a really good one, I'm going to, just to prove that it does have potential. If I catch a good one. That's the real thing. Am I going to catch a good one? Probably not, because I'll probably have other priorities, and it's like a, oh, there's a Dwebble there. Sure, I'll catch it. I wouldn't write it off so soon. The bigger thing is the seed expense. That's honestly the biggest thing that would hold me back, but if I catch a good one, I'll invest it, just to prove it for the content. Meowscarada having cooking power up as a milk producer helps a lot with making this new dish without good camp ticket. Oh, yeah, yeah. Also, now this is... Why can I not calculate? Did this stat search die right as I was praising it? Oh, wait, no, it just doesn't have Pokemon selected. That's why. Milk. Okay, we want Blastoise. We want Toxtricity. And we want Meowscarada. We don't really care about berries. We want all possible sub-skills. And all possible natures. And minimum metric, 123 milk. By productivity of milk. I think that's why it wasn't letting me do... And we want to make sure there's a plusle on the team. Or just something else with plus or minus. Fully upgraded. Okay. So, by the way, you should give a special role in the Discord for your channel members. I do have one in there. I mean, it's not special, it's just you can see them. They do stick out from the rest. There's Tyranitar, Larvitar, and Pupitar. with the correlating channel members. If you're a channel member and don't have the role in Discord, let me know. I'll gladly give it to you. I try to stay on top of that, but sometimes I do miss it. It is manually done. It's not automatic, so... Okay. 2141 Mario, I wouldn't deserve it. My membership was gifted. That's right. Honestly, accounting for my ABA Sylveon, I don't even need a perfect Milk Blastoise to reach the 123. Well, look at this. 1.29% of Blastoise can meet the Metacall at level 60. So take that as you wish. 1.29 from the comparisons that I've run is actually not that bad. You know what? I'll just show you my chart. Mini spoiler for a future video. I don't know when I'm going to make this video because I have a lot of other things on my plate right now. But I did... Wait, is this the right... Nope, that's a different spreadsheet. Glad I did not show that. It's this one. Okay. It's good camp ticket in your settings. Oh, I don't think I had good camp ticket enabled in the settings. Full invest. This was something that I was doing. I was comparing all the different Pokemon and all the different farmers of particular ingredients, and yeah, that looks about right. Full invest with 1 gold sub skill. You can see toxicity about 4%, Blastoise around 1.34%. Meanwhile, if we compare to oil, the best odds is a 16 Pipmon with a 0.94% to meet this new Metacall of 92. Luxray 0.64 being the next highest odds. It doesn't really get very good for all the oil farmers. Funnily enough, Dragonite can meet that Metacall. You'd have to have something that's absolutely insane on it, though, because it's 1 in 500, roughly. Ditto, not too much better, but less than 1% for all these. For some other ingredients, like apples, it's like 2%. Honey, like 3% for Venusaur. Some of them are really insane, so I guess milk is a little bit more difficult, but, like, it's more achievable, and interestingly, toxicity is the best odds. With or without good camp ticket, this was without, I believe. I'd have to, I should go back and relabel and double check. Given that I just ran this comparison here without, yeah, I ran it by my default settings, which doesn't have good camp ticket. And the numbers are coming out to roughly the same. I'm going to assume... Oh, whoops, that's the wrong tab. I'm going to assume that this comparison was run without good camp tickets active. Because let's see if I do run it with. Let's do an override here and see with. What are the odds instead? It's with. It's wild that I have a Blastoise, Croagunk, and Luxray that meet the call. No, that was without. Yeah, all of those were without for sure. Seeing how these are coming up. Triple ingredient AAC Dragonite for the win. Yeah, the fact that Dragonite and Ditto have like similar looking odds, like roughly you're only twice as likely to catch a Ditto, which has the mono list that produces enough compared to a Dragonite, which has it as the C ingredient. That's insane. Poor Ditto. And real win for Dragonite. Okay, why does it say 0%? That doesn't add up. Oh, because it hasn't finished calculating yet. That's why. 2.77% for Blastoise. Apparently with good camp tickets. Toxicity has the best odds at 12.6. So if you want a good milk farmer, this is your best odds, but it's also a lot more complicated because you're working with a skill specialist, not a ingredient specialist, which means you need skill seed investment and you need another plus or minus Pokemon on the team. So if you want a truly good milk farmer, this is your best chance at getting one, but it's conditional. AC bundles have dropped. Why do people keep bringing up the bundles? They were dropped yesterday. I'm pretty certain they were dropped yesterday. They're now like actually dropped in the news, I guess, but they were data mined yesterday. Like, I guess that we didn't have the bundle information in news form, but they were... I talked about these in my last stream that was live in the data mine, so Yeah, for those of you that don't know, it's 5 Poke Biscuits and a bag of incense for 250 diamonds. Great Biscuits and Poke Biscuits, some Trapinch and Dwebble incense, and some candy for Trapinch, and the bundle M. Actually, I think I talked about it in my news video, not even the stream. But anyway, and then bundle L has all 3 of their incenses, 2 of them each, some Baggin and Dwebble candy, and then some Ultra and Great Biscuits. Okay, I brought it up earlier because I missed mine. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Checking Rain on X, my Meowth Grotto with good canting gives 123.95 milk a day. That's right on the thing. Salamence' speed been leaked? Probably at this point. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. This is the real interesting one. No, what? They still don't have its frequency? Nobody's evolved one yet? Not a single person in the whole wide world has evolved one yet, apparently. Or if somebody has, they haven't shared their stat findings. Because, yeah, its evolution is just level, right? Like, if it's based off pseudo, like, it's got to be just level. Why is it not showing its evolution requirement? Well, Shelgon's speed is live. It's an hour, 3 minutes. That's pretty bad. We could make comparisons for Shelgon with a ribbon. Anyone want to do that? I need to know. Okay. I may have gone to bed before you discussed them. That's also fair. Let's see. If I pull in a Shelgon with a ribbon, because we now know that. Level 65. Give it maxed out ribbon. Compare it to Altaria with Dragonberry. Let's see. These are the comparisons that really, really matter, folks. No, not that. Oh, wait, we gotta make sure it's got Berry Finding S. That makes an impact. We'll do that. Want to be good. That one person gatekeeping their Salamence. Let's go with the ribbon. Same as Dragonair, right? Well, it's gonna be a different specialty, so that's not really a fair comparison. Let's see it compared to Altaria. If Altaria's worse, then that... I don't think it is. I don't think the ribbon's going to be enough to bring up that big of a difference. Oh my gosh. What? Huh? Guys! Chat! Okay, Shelgon. Okay, this can give us a mindset of what? My God, Shelgon. Okay, so based on... Wow, Altaria really needs a buff. Yeah, you can say that again. I was not expecting that. Okay, overall, what are your thoughts on the ribbon system? Do you think they need to add a 3000 at some point? Yes, absolutely. I would love to see higher tier ribbons. And I would actually like to see some of the higher tier ribbons give a little, very, very small amount of frequency to even fully evolved Pokemon. I think that'd be a nice way to reward really sleeping with your Pokemon, getting them up there. Rip my 3 leveled up Altaria. Hashtag nerf Shelgon. Unless they make it super slow for some weird reason. Well, right now, this is surprising to me. And this is off of actual, like, estimates for its ingredient rate as well, so, like, these aren't terrible predictions, too. Amber Candy music's out on Togepi. Oh, wait. I guess I'll listen to the music. I haven't done that yet. Let me find that here on my side monitor. Okay. Amber Canyon Pokemon Sleep. Let's see. Where's the music? Ooh, the day theme. Let's see. It's kind of reminiscent of the... It's kind of reminiscent of, like, the theme when you... Like, almost the Erasion. It's obviously different, but, like... The Erasion spin that they did... Like, the spin on Erasion that they did for the Darkrai. When you finished up the... when you finished up the Cresselia versus Darkrai, like, leveling rewards things, it's kind of similar to that in my mind, at least for the day. Let's listen to... Yeah, also very similar for day. The one that always is really different, though, is the night theme. The morning and the day theme are relatively similar. What's the night theme like? I'm not seeing it here yet. Yeah, I don't think the night theme is on YouTube yet, so we'll find that out eventually. For now, though, we'll run the day theme. Let's turn that down a little bit so it's not too loud for y'all. Okay. I can catch up on chat now. Okay. I'm happy that I haven't started hunting for a berry finding Saltaria. Shelgon will be my Amber Canyon carry. Oh gosh. I've been catching them and have some berry finding S, but yeah, time to catch Baggin and name it Bacon. Saw you were streaming and hopped in. Thanks for all the videos and content you create for us. Honestly, one of my favorite content creators off the board. Thank you so much. I love compliments. They're great. And I do appreciate all you viewers for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for all the sleep times, because, you know, this game is a rather niche one, and I just love it. I have a passion for the game, and I want to keep talking about it, so. As of 3 p.m., Flygon should be on top 2, right? I don't think that was ever confirmed anywhere, but I don't see why it wouldn't be. Very emotional and kind of epic theme. I would agree. This is pretty dope. I'm glad I'm... This will be the theme for the rest of the video, or for the rest of the stream. It's thematic, you know? Wow, it's beautiful. Indeed. Altaria is still good for Greengrass Expert as his second Berrymon, since people probably won't invest 2 Salamence anytime soon. Yeah, Salamence is going to be expensive. Can we talk about that? A Berrymon Pseudo. That means we care about its level all the way past level 60. Like, the previously existing Pseudos, like, you want to hit them to level 60, and then you don't really need to invest them past that. Even if they have good sub-skills at higher ranks, you can just be okay with not reaching them to that point, because they'll be good at level 60 with how much they can produce. But Salamence, you're going to want every level is going to matter. So it's going to be expensive, especially as that level cap increases. Night theme isn't out because of good sleep day. Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't even think about that. Well, also, I don't even think it's late enough that the night theme would be out yet, because it would need to be 6 p.m. there in Kiribati, I guess is what it's called. Or Kiribati. It would need to be 6 p.m. there, which it's not yet, I don't think. Because it turned 4:30... I think it's about 5:48 there right now. So in 12 minutes, but also good sleep day theme. One second. Oh, probably the only content creator I follow. Love the work. Thank you so much, Gabe Hansen. You can wear the Shelgon as a generalist. Maybe do Quilava or Croconaw. I mean, I guess that could be a good idea, just to see how it compares to other middle stage Pokemon. Because that might give us a good projection of what it might look like. Oh, whoops, we don't want to max the main skill. Berry Finance helps speed M. We gotta make sure we ribbon it, though, for fair comparison. So, if we were to make the comparison, it's looking that Quilava is about the same, just a little bit better than Shelgon. So, based off that, we can maybe project that Salamence would be about the same as a Typhlosion. I doubt that, though, because typically Pseudos, there's a bigger jump between their middle and their final evolution. So, I guess we'll only see. I would love to make the comparisons, but the frequency is not out yet. Someone needs to get their Salamence to level 41. I'll be refreshing this page for a while. We have all the stats for Flygon. Do we have all the ones for Crustle? Is Crustle settled yet? It is settled. Okay, so we actually can make the official comparison for Crustle. Like the official, here is the number. Oh wait, does it though? Do we have these numbers? Are these numbers settled yet? No, they're not, so we're not gonna... Well, we can kind of assume though. Okay, Crustle, level 60. If we assume, like, something like that. Max level main skill. Just whatever. ABC. What's it producing? Oh, it's still unsettled. Oh, wait, I need to refresh the page. Nope, it's still unsettled. It's there. We'll be able to run the comparisons soon. Okay. Speed hasn't dropped yet for Salmons. Yeah, I'm aware. Okay, do folks that have Amber Candy available already have the bundles as well? Thought they were going to be coming out next Monday. I don't know. Yeah, they probably aren't releasing the bundles until the actual event starts. Okay, can you compare Gigachu to similar Salamence? I'll be able to once Salamence has stats. Okay, about to have my 1-year anniversary in the game and so excited for my first island release. Thank you for all your content and growing my appreciation for this great game. Anytime, Joel. Anytime, anytime. Glad to have you around for a year in the game. It's something else. Island releases are honestly some of the most exciting stuff. For long-term players, that is. I feel sad for anyone that's getting into the game because they hear like, oh, Flygon and Salamence are just releasing. I want that. You can get into the game now and you can definitely catch them and encounter them at Greengrass. But it's like, you're not going to be catching a lot of them. Like, the new area is the exciting part of a new area, not just the Pokemon. And even if it is just the Pokemon, you're only going to be able to catch them for 2 weeks. And then after that, it's going to be like a year before you can ever see them again. So, like, if you don't catch a good one now, that is so stressful, especially if you're only getting a few spawns at Greengrass. I feel so bad for people that get into the game right when a new island releases. Okay. Do folks that have... Okay. Speed hasn't dropped yet. Oh, yeah. Okay. Comparing No Ribbon Shelgon... Oh, that's gonna be... sad if I do that. Yeah. I mean, Altaria does beat it out. Big shocker there. 500-hour Ribbon... honestly, about the same. Like, it is weaker, but it's closer than it should be. Okay. I'm prepping for the lesson right now and should be asleep, but couldn't help but share my appreciation by the community. Thank you, Maltush. It's like I said, it's always good to hear. Super casual until I was about 5 months in, then became a min-maxer after watching a dozen of my videos. Yep. Okay, someone trade me a bag and I'll use my candies. Since Salamence is a very specialist, will that mean if they ever had Metagross that would follow the other pseudos being ingredient? Potentially. Now that Salamence is a very specialist and breaks the pattern, I don't know what to expect going forward. So yeah. Someone needs to dump all their handy candy into a Salamence. I'm surprised nobody has yet. I would have been expecting somebody out there to just be like, okay, I'm gonna save up my, like, save it all up just to get it, be the first one out there. Nobody's done it yet, so I'm sure somebody will have it for us soon. Okay, you'll collect up so much candy that year. That's true. Actually not excited about Amber Canyons. It's so much time to build up I guess you mean area bonus at new areas. And like you said, I'm about 125 years. 125 years in? I think you mean... I don't know what you mean by that. Days, maybe? That would make sense. And spent about 5 weeks suffering an old gold power plant before moving to Greengrass Expert mode. It's still exciting because it's new potential and new lands to traverse. Area bonus does take a long time to build up, but that's kind of part of the fun. The journey's there, the excitement. Well, I will say this, being someone who's been in there for a while, being at the area bonus cap everywhere just feels kind of depressing. Because, like, what am I doing? Where's my advancement? Like, you do advance in small ways, but the area bonus, the little 5%, 5% week by week is always something to just keep you, I guess, really hooked. And now that it's 85%, that's gonna be 17 weeks to max it out. Given that there's 6 other islands, each one of them now need to go up 10% each. That's 12 more. You're not talking 39 weeks before anyone has max area bonus across all islands. We add Greengrass Expert mode in there. Mine's only 60% there right now. It'll be 5 weeks before that one's maxed. 39, that's 44 weeks. 44 weeks from today it'll be maxed, and that's assuming... I guess that's not quite a year, because it's 52 weeks in a year. But hey, 44 weeks from now, maybe you'll have the area bonus maxed everywhere. But by that point, maybe they'll add Cyan Beach Expert Mode. Maybe they'll add some of the other Expert Mode islands. We'll actually have... And if they add just one more, you're adding 17 more weeks. Like, that makes a big difference. So it's not... I have a feeling that going forward, we're not going to have any problems with hitting that max area bonus cap for an indefinite amount of time. Okay, 1.25. Okay, that makes a lot more. 125 years in, feels like that sometimes. Would be nice to have trading even in limited capacity. I think it'd be nice for the community aspect too. There actually was a patent filed for some sort of trading in the game, but it would be more like a mystery trade where you wouldn't get to choose. I could see trading, but I don't... It would be difficult. They'd have to, like... There's a lot of problems when you add that level of... like, trading off... Like, let's say I have 2 good Raichus, and I don't need a second good Raichu. So I'm going to send it away to somebody else in exchange for something that I need. You've now accelerated both players' progression, because each player encountering unique challenges is one of the things that gatekeeps progression. So, I'm not sure you'll ever see trading in the truest, like, you trade and you get the same sub-skills and same nature on the other end. I think if there is going to be trading, it's going to re-randomize some things. So much for oil mints. Yeah, no oil Pokemon being added. 500 hours Shelgon seems realistic. This is pretty sad for Altaria. Yeah. I missed it. Yep, sorry about that. Surprised they didn't save the Dragonberry Pseudo to be Dino, since it needs to be the highest level in the game to evolve at. My thought line is, I think they are probably going to make every Pseudo going forward be their secondary typing. Just because if every single Pseudo, except for maybe Metagross, because Metagross is unique, if every single Pseudo is just Dragon typing, that's boring. But Dragonite and Salamence both being Dragon flying, they make more sense as Dragons than as flying typing. And flying typing is meh in this game because it has the weakest berry. So I understand why they didn't do it for them. They wanted to make them more exciting, so they gave them the strongest berry instead, since they were given 2 options. But I think going forward, I think every single other Pseudo is likely to have whatever their secondary typing is. So, I would expect Dino, probably going to be Dark-type. Okay. Yeah, now that I have 55 area bonus at Greengrass Expert, I'm excited to have a hard time on an island again. Yep, that's how it feels. Rayquaza should be the Year 3 Legendary with Helper Boost Dragon. If they add more Legendaries, I think they're going to make everything unique. I think Helper Boost is going to be a specific to the Legendary Beast thing. I think they're all going to play off their typing and make, like, mono-type teams more interesting. But I think we're going to see a trend that there's going to be a buff of typing, like, matching type with the Pokemon with every Legendary going forward. But I don't think they're ever going to bring back Helper Boost. I think Helper Boost was kind of their first attempt at that. And honestly, when comparing it to some of the newer modern skills, it's a lot less interesting. I think there's more interesting things they can do with it. Okay. I think we have Expert Mode rollover. I'll have to release at least 2 islands for the next Expert release. Otherwise, we just stay at Greengrass Expert and roll over while still getting high power. Like, other than an event, what would drive you to go to Cyan Expert at 0%? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I guess the one time... no, because it's at 0%. Yeah, you're right. I probably wouldn't ever go to Cyan. Unless they release unique... If they release unique Pokemon at the Expert modes for each island, that could be a way they could introduce more Pokemon, theoretically. Let's say Cyan Beach is the only... Cyan Beach Expert mode is the only way to encounter Magikarp. How do you think of that idea? If you want Gyarados, you have to go to Expert mode Cyan. That would draw people in, I'll tell you that. And it doesn't have to be Magikarp and Gyarados, it can be anything, but that's just the theory. The first thought that came to mind. How are the new Mons? Who's your primary one to hunt? Probably Ments. Well, I don't know. Flygon... Avocados would be good for me, so probably Flygon, honestly, because I've got a pretty solid setup for, the whole Dragonite, Flygon combo. But more importantly, Dragonite, and then my Dragonite's pretty good for the corn and the herbs. So I'd like something for avocado production. It's probably my primary hunt. Salamence, I'm always interested in the strong berry specialist, and if this thing is as strong as it's looking based off its pre-evolutions numbers, then I think it's going to be great. Okay. Like, other than... Okay. Out of the new ones, who's your... Okay, Dark-type by Dragon will go crazy. Wouldn't be surprised if they added Go-style trading where the stats re-roll. How expensive biscuits can be, another chance at a Mon without a biscuit spent could be very valuable, especially 16 pip. Totally agree. I think a Go-style trading would be good. Especially if it costs Dream Shards, give another purpose for Dream Shards. I know that a lot of people just hold out for the candy boosts and then drop all of them during candy boost, or are holding out till Christmas to just mass candy boost everything. I think the 500 cap isn't there for to actually be our goal. I think the 500 cap is there to just make it capped in some capacity, but be effectively uncapped, but only for the really crazy people. Do they cap it? Okay. Since we'll have all berries covered in terms of islands, what do you think they'll do for the new islands? I think they'll just do expert modes at this point. If we... Potentially, the future is uncertain. Only time will tell. I hope we get more islands going forward from Amber Canyon, because I think new islands are more... It's more interesting, because then theoretically the next island could have a combination of berries like, let's say, water, fire, grass. That could be an interesting combination, and now there's something that a Feraligatr could do that a Dodrio couldn't. Or I guess an example is if it was flying, I don't know, flying dragon rock. Suddenly, if that's the case, you have to actually think about, like, or maybe not dragon, because now we have Salamence, so that'd probably be the go-to there, but like flying rock and, I don't know, dark. If you have those three berries, who's really thinking about much of the flying berry specialist, the rock berry specialist, the dark berry specialist in the game? Suddenly now those Pokemon can actually do something, and it makes them unique compared to the other berry options at the same island, because now it's, well, it goes to 2 different islands. They do more roles. So I'd really hope for at least 6 more islands. That'd be what I want, so that each berry has at least 2 islands that it goes to that is different from one, so that each one feels unique. We have to kind of plan out coverage, but only time will tell. As of right now, the direction of the game looks like, if I had to guess, based off the strength requirements at Expert Mode being higher than that of Amber Canyons, it looks like their plan is that Expert Mode is the future, and I don't see them developing more expert modes alongside planning a new island, so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't foresee a new island coming until all the base islands have an expert mode first. I'll say that. Okay. Oh, what about expert mode is the only way to get mega power from Mega Evolutions? That could be interesting if they ever do go the Mega route, but I don't know if that's really a direction they're taking it. It'd be interesting to see where they go now that all the islands are covered. I could see them releasing a rock plus 2 island for fossils. Yeah, I mean, a rock type would be great for fossil Pokemon. I would love to see some of the fossil Pokemon in the game. One of my favorite Pokemon is Tyrantrum. Man, nobody's got a Salamence yet. How? How has nobody gotten a Salamence yet? Is there no posting online? I'm checking some of the Discords, because maybe someone's posted something. Lots of people are posting a lot of discussion, but nothing. Okay. Do we do a search on Twitter? Okay. Oh, okay, I just joined. Bagging is Dragonberry Mon that will be available at Greengrass for any account for the next 2 weeks. So bagging the S tier play for helpers. Potentially, if you stumble into a good one. We don't know what Salaman's speed is. They could give him a stupidly slow speed and just to fake us out. But even if it's bad, I mean, we looked at the comparison and Shelgon's about to only slightly worse than Altaria with 500 sleep hours. Okay, I feel like if they will implement trading, it'll be like Pokemon Go, which changes the stats. I agree on that one. I love Helix Fossil, all hail. I don't know which one the Helix Fossil turns into. I don't know all the stuff about the fossil Pokemon. How would you get a Salamence yet? If you napped, do you get it with the update? Well, you wouldn't necessarily get a Salamence yet. You'd have to evolve a Bagon. Which you would need a lot of candies to do since it needs to be level 41. But I'm sure there's some whale out there that's... or some crazy person who stockpiled candies upon candies upon candies and just will take up a Salamence immediately when they catch one. We're just waiting for that one person to get it. Bro, you lied about Salamence. What did I lie about? I didn't lie about it. I made predictions, and my predictions were wrong. I predicted it to be an oil ingredient mon. That was very wrong. There's no oil in the list, and it's not an ingredient mon. I also predicted it to have charge strength S, which it didn't have. But I also stated very clearly those were predictions, and I wasn't trying to give anyone facts. Speed matters less when I have 5 health bonus mons guaranteed. That's kind of true. I mean, the speed does still matter, because you're still working off a base speed. If this thing has a base frequency of an hour, I'm sorry, it's not really that great. But even with, like, because then at that point Altaria is better. So, it does still matter, but I don't think they're going to do it that dirty. Can I make a projection? Oh, I just realized, should I try to make a projection of roughly what I think its frequency is before the frequency goes live? I think that could be fun. Okay, so, what would it take? I'm going to do some calculations. I'm just going to make another thing here. I predict it's going to be the new strongest berry specialist, not counting Actually, I'm going to predict that it produces roughly the same amount of strength as a Sceptile, because that seems to be the new, like, baseline. Like, that seems to be the new strongest mon in the game. I think they're going to, for berries, I'm going to predict that they're going to make Salamence do the same sort of productivity. So, what does Sceptile look like? Try based on how Dragonair is different from Dragonite. I could do that. That could be another way of predicting it. But I'm going to go for, if it's a level 65 Sceptile as, like, the baseline, with Berry Finding S, is making... And we're going to look at max main skill level as well. With Grass Favored Berry. It produces 109k. So I'm going to predict that a level 65 Salamence should produce roughly 109,000 strength. Which, we're looking for 109,000. Actually, wait, we're just, yeah. 109,000 strength. Okay. Pupitar versus Tyranitar, that's another way. You know what, I'm gonna do that one first, because that's easier to do. So, if we just go off the base frequencies, I mean, it's actually pretty easy to do. I can just do... There we go. Okay, so there's Pupitar. And... Nope, not Dratini. We want Dragonair. This is a very roundabout way to get to this information. Anyway, so Pupitar has a base frequency of an hour. Meanwhile, Tyranitar has a base frequency of 45 minutes. So they shaved off 25%. They made it 3/4 of the speed. Dragonair has a speed frequency of hour 3 minutes. Meanwhile, Dragonite goes up to 43 minutes 20 seconds. So they shaved off more time for Dragonite than they did from Pupitar to Tyranitar. Let's see. What are those base frequencies? Actually, I could just use my infographic. I made an infographic where these numbers would just be readily available without doing the math, because I can just pull the number from my thing. Here, let's see. So, Pupitar is 45 minutes, which, what is that in seconds? 2,700? Yeah. Okay, 2,700 is Pupitar. Tyranitar is, we said, no, Tyranitar is 2,700. Gosh. My brain is melting. Shelgon has the same speed as Dragonair? Oh, does it? Hour 3. Actually, that might be true. That might be easy to say. Shell. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Oh, this one has self-recharge. So, yeah, I think they do. I think they do. Yes, they do. So, I guess based off of that, we would assume the same frequency as Dragonite. Which, if that's the case, then 2,600 is pretty nuts. If they do the exact same thing, because they gave it the same frequency. I guess I could make predictions for what that would look like. I mean, that'd be a... Well, I mean, Altaria's base frequency is... based off of this one, which is the abbreviated one, which is easier to navigate through. It's slower, I know that. It's somewhere over here. Yep, it's 3,500. So, 3,500 divided by 2,600. If it's 2,600, then that's a 34% increase. Gosh, that is insane. If that is the case. I'm 14 months away from maxing area bonus at all current islands. Yeah, if you're 14 months away, you're probably never going to max it. So by the time you might get anywhere close, they're probably just going to increase the cap. So, hate to break it to you, but if you want to have your island area bonuses truly capped, the only way to do that is to just get in earlier on the game, which at this point you can't do. 2,600 is significantly better than 3,500. Yes, that is the case. Never say never, but you're probably right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless they stop development for the game or get the game to a point where like they're like, okay, we have re-released everything we want to release. Which, I don't see that happening anytime soon, but at the best, it's going to be years and years from now. I mean, you already said it's 14 months. I imagine there's probably going to be another island added within the next 14 months. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It took them pretty much a year on the dot for the last one, so that was 12 months difference. It's probably going to be around this time every year, if I had to guess. I mean, Ben Brown made that prediction a while ago. It seemed to be pretty accurate. They did do some area bonus catch-up stuff, but I was after the cutoff for that. Yeah, they do it for much earlier game players, but never enough to actually bring you up to the same spot. You have to subtract Snowdrop from the area bonus calculation, because who cares about Snowdrop? Thing is, you don't, because you still have to build up the area bonus at Snowdrop to get roll, because otherwise Snowdrop's going to cut into your rollover, because it still exists. Even if you don't care about it, it's still going to draw away your area bonus rollover from the other islands. I need the MSC for Snowdrop. MSC, main skill chance? That's usually what that abbreviates to. Music? I don't know what that stands for. MSS. Man, the typos today. Main skill seed. I see what you're saying. If same speed as Dragonite, it'd be roughly the same speed as Ninetales, but Dragonberry is 150 and Fire is 116. So that'd be 1.3 times as much as Ninetales. I mean, that's a good rough prediction. Let's see. I would need to go to Pokedex for that. I wanted to see where Ninetales ranks in there. Yeah, 2,600 is also... That's where Blaziken and Banette also lie. So we can kind of compare to them. Okay. Nope, we want specialty. Berry Mons. Mons. We want to sort by total strength, not frequency. Because frequency plays a part in total strength, but it is not the key decider. Oh man, wait! Okay, 4640, they actually have it out. Okay, that's faster, I think. It's the same speed as Meganium. That's actually slower. Okay, it's not the same speed as Dragonite. They did cut us off from that. They made it slower than Dragonite, it looks. But that's still a huge step up. Like, that's still going to 2800 from 3500 as our previous Pokemon, so... let's see, yep, it's right here, 4640. Yep. Should give Altaria 3000 base frequency. I mean, that would definitely improve it. That would be putting it in the same... That would be putting it with the likes of Walrein, which... Walrein was pretty... And Steelix, even. Actually, that would make Altaria... What I just realized... Okay. It's got a faster base frequency than Steelix. Yet a stronger base berry than Steelix. That's already setting it up to be really, really good. It's also faster than Alola Tails, and a stronger base value berry than Alola Tails. So, we're talking some of the top berry mons in the game there. So yeah, this is definitely the new best berry specialist. Now the better question is, how does it compare to our real best berry specialist, which isn't actually a berry specialist, and it is Sceptile? That's the better question. Because as of right now, Sceptile's the best quote-quote berry specialist in the game. Let's see. Now, this still isn't going to be perfect because we don't have its ingredient rate yet, but ingredient makes a minimal impact for berry mons. It can make an impact and it does play a role in things, but... Oh! They haven't ported its information over here. Great! They need to port it into this tool still. Okay, what time we switching over, chat? Hope I'm not late. Okay, probably for the best it isn't the same as Dragonite would break the game. I don't know though, they released Sceptile. Sceptile's crazy if you really think about it fundamentally. Finally, Flygon getting the love it deserves. Do you think new X-Remote Islands will have reach M18 on regular version requirements? I can imagine, yes. I would expect that going forward. That's going to be Reach Master 18 on said island for every single one. Okay. Come on, Salamence. We know your speed. Just... Well, I guess I can do a... Well, we can do this stat. Well, it showed up in Pokedex. I could compare it in Pokedex. Let's see. Specialty, we're going to include berries and skills mons. Berry type, I mean, we could limit that, but we're going to restrict it to skill level max. Because we want Salamence, not Salamence, Sceptile to do pretty well with this. Berry. We're going to give everything favored. Nope, that's not favored berry. That's something else. Map. Wait, let's... Do we have to select green grass and then tell it... No, it's doing something else there. Where's the... They moved things around in Rain on X and it's throwing me off. There it is. That's the stat I was looking for. We want to make sure everything has favored berry for this comparison. With Berry Finding S. And then... We're just going to look at fully evolved mons. Okay, it's looking... Not game-breaking, but still good. I mean... Like, comparing to Raichu, this is if you fully invest Raichu's main skill, which... Salamence's main skill isn't going to do anything in this calculation, so... Like, that's giving an unfair comparison to the Raichu. If we make them the base main skill level, Then Salamence does significantly better. But Sceptile is still hands down the best. So, yeah, take that as you wish. But yeah, it definitely kicks Altaria to the curbside for Dragon Berries. I mean, this might even be where Subskills doesn't trump species sort of moment. Well, it's not quite 50% better, and it would need to be 50% better for the difference to be there. Well, actually, wait, no, because I said my ruling was always if the bare minimum investable is better than the best potential, was the way that I classified that in my... And, oh man, that actually might be the case. Let's see. It's 3,500 for Altaria. And it's 2,800. So it's a full 25% better. With Help Speed M and Help Speed S, that's a 21% frequency decrease. And with a speed up nature, it's going to be 10% faster than off of that. So, yeah, it's still not going to be crossing that threshold. Because we're looking at 0.711. I'm just talking numbers here. That's going to be 40% more versus 25%. Yeah, the Altaria is significantly... It's not that within the range that it's not worth ever catching any... Or, like, not worth investing ever because Salamence is that much better. But, boy, you'd have to have a really, really good one to be worth consideration. Okay. Shelgon benches Altaria. Oh, gosh. Loving the shiny pseudo-legendaries coming strong. Yep. Sceptile is really just that good. Yeah, Sceptile's insane in this game. What time can we switch chat? Switch chat? Why would we want to switch the chat? I don't understand. When can we move islands to Amber Canyon? 3 p.m. local time. So, I can't tell you that because that depends on your time zone. Or time travel. Wow, I'm from the future. There's a glitch in the Matrix. Nice, nice. So yeah, whatever 3 p.m. local time is for you is when you can change there. So it really just exists for players to have a Dragonberry Mom before heading to Amber Canyon. Kind of like Walrein with Snowdrop. Because not very many people are going to have a good Weavile before Snowdrop. Houndoom is technically worse than it. And Alola Tails is only there, so... And we don't need to mention Raticate. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Ribbon Shelgon Solo's Pokemon Sleep. Is Ribbon Shelgon gonna be a meme from now on? I dare you guys. One of you guys better have a 2,000-hour Ribbon Shelgon. Eventually. Somebody do it and post a screenshot in the Discord. I will make you a custom Discord role. I will make you a custom Discord role of something like insane person. I don't know, something like that. You better have that as your profile picture too, whoever you are. You can clip this and send it to me when you do it, and I'll do it for you. Yo, should I sit on one of my 3 times shiny Dragonites? What? Bet. Just wanted to say hi. Thanks, you Pixo. Glad you're tuning in. Feel like Kaiba. Okay, are the Mence stats in this functionality yet? I don't think they are. Gosh darn it. Refreshing the page didn't fix it. Asylum candidate. That could be a great name for the... That could be a great name for the thing. The bane of my existence is Clefus so far. Sad face. I invested in an Altaria with berry finding help speed ×3 at a level 62. Challenge accepted. Oh boy. My goat, shiny 2,000-hour Shelgon. He'll be a myth, a mod, and a legend. Thing is, once you get it there, like, once you get it to 500 hours, it's like you're running an Altaria almost. Like a slightly weaker Altaria. So if you have good stats on it, that's not actually terrible. If you have really, really good stats, but... Are you moving Sunday, we mentioned? I'm moving tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I actually considered moving tonight. I considered time traveling But then I was like, I don't want to miss a whole day because I would miss all of today's sleep session. Speaking of which, I need to put my Pokemon to sleep in 5 minutes. That's when my bedtime, technically, like, the zone for my bedtime range starts. Shelgon is just Altaria. 500 hour slept with Shelgon is a slightly weak, like, very close to Altaria. But different kind. I'm moving tomorrow, too, on Lapis for the beginning of the week to try and scrounge up Dratini candy. Nice! You and I did the same thing. I went to Lapis early week as well. For a little bit of a different reason, though. It was more just because I knew I could actually hit a decent strength there before changing over. So, that's kind of why I chose Lapis, but yeah. Don't forget your good sleep day incenses if you're into that. Yeah. Good sleep day incenses? Oh! Huh? I don't know. Danny, big fan, bro. Keep up the content. Danny. Oh, Danny Phantom. You don't lose a session, you just gotta start your go. Oh, yeah. Well, oh yeah, I guess I could wait. Well, but the whole purpose of going there, or, oh, you're saying Sunday night. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If you're going there Sunday night and you have a Go++, absolutely. Start it, then move. I'm moving on Thursday because the whole goal is content, see the new Mons as early as possible, which probably won't even happen if we're honest, just because of the whole RNG element of things. Number out, Salaman's numbers out. Yeah, they've been out for some time. It's just, are they in this tool? I need to actually, like, let this tool update. It looks like they finally got the frequency data in here, so that's good. The ingredient data isn't in there yet, but we could compare Salamence to Sceptile, because Sceptile is just crazy. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed Sceptile. It is conceptually busted. It is easily the most broken berry Pokemon they've added to the game. Although I just realized that's... Wait a minute, what? Huh? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, wait, this is not with Berry Finding S. That's why there's a difference. That's important because Sceptile gains 100% berry productivity. Salamence gains 50% from Berry Finding S. So that's... still less of a difference than I would have expected. Oh, no, that's still a very big difference from what I would have expected. I have them at the right levels, right? If this is the case, then this is insane. Oh, wait a minute. It's probably in the meals. There we go. That's where the difference was. Sorry if I blew any false alarms there. This is more about what I expected. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not better than Sceptile. Salamence is not greater than Sceptile. I had meal settings that were throwing things off, so it was overvaluing the potatoes. Yeah, I mean, this is, like, about what I was expecting, if I'm completely honest. It's, like... Or, it's not what I was expecting. I was expecting to actually be better. I was expecting to be better than this. This is not game-breaking. It's cool. It's a good Mon. But it's not, like, crazy. I mean, if we compare it to Raichu, which I think Raichu is a pretty standard for just a solid Mon these days. One of the better berry specialists. I mean, it's a little better. Compared to, like, some of the Johto starters, it's around in line for the top of the top, but it's nothing severely game-breaking. That's the big... It's not anything that's going to bust the game. Like Sceptile was. Sceptile's just nuts. Now, if we drop Sceptile down to just main skill level 3, it's around on par with these guys, but you can pump skill seeds into Sceptile, which makes it crazier. That's more reasonable, yeah. Mono Flygon producing 84 avocados, level 60 IFM, IFS help speed M. Is that what it takes? Usually I can see, like, this is... That's with good camp ticket, though. Let's see without good camp ticket. I can get it to do that with a little bit less. With my background settings. Like, I only need IFM, help speed M, help speed S. Doesn't need a second ingredient finding S, and it's making 88. In fact, I bet it would with helping bonus as well. And that's technically slightly weaker. So yeah, I could theoretically just add a helping bonus stack, and that would get it past that threshold. Is 84 the min to make the new meals? Yeah, it is. 28 times 3, 84. That's the meta call for avocados. Flygon can do. Do they have the numbers in for... That's probably going to take longer for the ingredient draw, because people will need to actually run the skill, I bet, to figure out the chances. We assume it's going to be an even third split, but we technically don't know. So technically the jury's kind of still out on Crustle, but... I think Crustle's going to be good if you catch a really good one and know how to use it right, but it's going to be niche. But I think it has potential. I don't think it's DOA like some people are saying. Cooking power is significant on Berrymon, though, especially if you're using the ingredients. Jeez. What's up, VR? What's up, chat? Well, the Pokemon are out. Technically, Sceptile isn't super busted if you consider Typhlosion would produce almost similar strength if you invested seeds into it. If you're investing seeds into both... it's still about 2,000 behind. This takes one less main skill seed. And this can also take advantage of Favored Berry at other islands. Like, I guess you could say it could be weaker. If that's the case, if you only have one Bug-type Pokemon as its partner, then yeah, it's going to be a little bit weaker. But if you have a full team, it's producing more, no matter what those other Pokemon are. And it takes one less main skill seed. So, I guess take that as you wish. And also the fact that Typhlosion doesn't take as advantage of Favored Berry as much. Because Sceptile is producing Favored Berry through both its main skill and its base skill. It's still conceptually busted. Sceptile is insane. This is like the worst case scenario for it at its home island, and it does better than the Typhlosion at the same island, or at its home island by a pretty significant amount. Okay. So Crustle gonna be allowed on sleepers if it needs. Yeah, I'm gonna allow it. Very similar. I've allowed the other. Okay, I don't allow Mawile, but I have allowed Haunchcrow. I haven't caught... Actually, I think I caught an alright one, if I'm right. I forgot. Anyway, it's now past 10:30, so... We're putting my Pokemon to sleep. I always find it funny how creepy the Pikachu is. I've been told there's a way to actually turn that off, but honestly, I don't want to. I think it's funny. Just how creepy it is. Okay, I also got to get the sleepers asleep as well. The music is nice, I will say that. Can't wait to migrate there myself and then hear this music waking up. Okay. Although now I'm wondering... Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I was just going to say, maybe I migrate... Maybe after I wake up, I immediately time zone change and then see my new... Go there so I can get a whole day's worth of productivity in before sleep. But it's not going to make that big of a difference. Being at that island is just going to suck. Like, I've just accepted that. We're not going to get good strength this week. If you think you're going to get good strength this week, I'm sorry, you're not. You'd have to... If you whistle... You could do it if you whistle, but that's pretty much the only functional way you're going to get a decent amount of strength this week in particular. Maybe during the event, but even then it's going to be difficult with only 5% area bonus. Anyway, the sleepers are going to bed right now as we speak. Say goodnight to Snorlax, everybody. He's going to sleep. Yeah, Crustal's probably gonna be allowed on the sleepers. Oh shoot, that actually means I need to... I actually need to consider stinking... I actually need to consider where I go on the sleepers this week. Hold up. Because I think a lot of people are writing it off, and I definitely should be able to use it with ingredient draw being such a weird skill. It's a very difficult skill to use. You kind of have to build around it. But then I need whatever the last ingredient is. What is the last ingredient to that meal? Also, that's... I'm not going to be making that meal a long ways away in the sleepers. Because it takes this thing 115. I would need to max out my pot on the sleepers. I can't even do that. I don't have 510 sleep styles, I don't think. I could have just checked, but I didn't. I might have 510, actually. I don't know. But even if I do, I don't have the dream shards for that. I don't even have my pot maxed as it is. Let alone once the new island is, like... Once the Amber Canyon sleep style dex goals are a thing for me. I do not have a bonus, like... 3.5 million dream shards on the sleepers. Anyway, overgrow avocado gratin is, I would need something for milk. Oh my gosh. I actually have something for milk on the sleepers. And the funny thing is, the milk producer would theoretically also produce a little bit of avocados and a little bit of the... And I have to run it alongside something else to produce... Okay. Crustal's a hunt on the sleepers, I guess. Interesting. Maybe the sleepers go to Amber Canyon this week. Or not this week, next week. Hunting Crustal. I didn't think this would be the case. But it does make sense, actually. Because I actually have a milk producer on there in my toxicity, so... Yeah. It's reasonable, and it's the only time it's boosted, so I guess I need to hunt it. Dream Shards in these coming months is going to be rough. Pot expansions plus candy boost on Christmas. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, Christmas itself does come with a lot more Dream Shards to begin with. Just on the nature that it is, in fact, like, Christmas does come with a boost. It doubles Dream Shard productivity from Dream Shard Magnet. Gives us 2 to 3 times Dream Shards from the night, depending upon what night, of what day of the week it is. So, if they run it the same as they have in the past, then we should be getting more Dream Shards over that week. I'll be using a good camp ticket for more productivity on the Swats. But yeah. I really think Crustal Hunt is perfectly in line with the purpose of the sleepers. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely be hunting it. Especially since, like, I can actually afford to hunt it there. Like, I said I would invest in it in my main account if I caught a good one. I said that earlier in this stream, but I don't intend to hunt a good one. I'm not that gung-ho about it. My main account has other goals, so... it'd be more of it if I stumble into a good one on my main account. But on the sleepers, it actually does make sense, because the others are not legal, so I'll actually hunt it on there. I can understand the Dream Shard struggle. I maxed my pot 2 days ago, well to the max. I can have it at the moment. Well, here's the thing. Oh wait, I guess I wouldn't need to max it out. I talked about this in my long video describing all the data mine stuff. The data mine video. Please go watch that if you haven't already. It's... Honestly, there's probably more information in my video on the data mines than what there is going to be in the next video that I release after this stream is done, because the new Mons themselves, yes, they have new data and stuff about it, but I do a lot more of discussion and meta-analysis in the video discussing the new ingredients, the new recipes, and what they could hold. I pretty much already reached my conclusion about Crustal in that video before this one's even out, so I did discuss it. Upgrading to the maximum pot size, don't bother. Nobody needs it. There's a reason to invest in it, and that's if you're worried about discipline and you want to just do it to get it off your chest that you have it done. But the absolute maximum possible pot size increase, there's basically no purpose right now. Theoretically, it can give you like a little bit extra strength every week if you can use those filler ingredients, but it's not going to make a significant impact to anything. it's not going to get you across a new threshold for meal productivity unless there's one circumstance where it is useful. And that is if you are someone who uses a minus Pokemon for pot expansion, and you're trying to make, I think it was the, which one I need to do, it's 89, right? Wait. It's 69 plus 12, whatever that is, 81. 81 ingredients plus 24, so 105. If you are someone who is using a minus Pokemon for your pot expansion, and you are trying to make bulldoze guacamole and chips or apple acid yogurt dressed salad, then you are the one and only person that I think genuinely it is the optimal play, the numerically optimal play to invest and purchase that last pot expansion. Other than if you're that person, which how many people are actually using minus for their main pot expander? If you're that person, then you know what? You have a reasoning to upgrade that final pot expansion, because then it gets it within one proc on those 2 meals. That's not the case for everybody else that's using the other pot expansion sub skill, or the other pot expansion main skill. But otherwise, you can make every meal in the game with a 78 pot. So like, just don't bother. Save yourself the 1.2 million shards. I'll probably be doing it because I have a whole stress thing, or not to say stress. It's more of a matter of I just want to get it out of the way. I know the numerically optimal thing is to not do it, but I don't care, because it's, yes, it's a hefty investment, but I know it's eventually going to matter. And it's like, what's the difference between, like, what can those shards do for me now that they can't do for me in the future? I guess they can do candy boost? But, like, I don't know. I only want to candy boost stuff that are below level 50 because it is so much more expensive. I think if you're trying to push past that, then you're someone who has a lot of more time to min-max than me, which is alright. There's nothing wrong with that. Go for it. I just personally don't have the discipline to hold on to that many Dream Shards for Christmas. And I know that I'm not necessarily going to have the discipline to hold on to that many Dream Shards for a pot expansion when I actually need it. So I'm just going to get it out of the way as fast as I can to get it out of the way, even though it is a numerically suboptimal decision. Okay, I need to catch up on chat. I really think cooking event upcoming. I gotta think about the schedule going. So, we have this event right now. Eevee Week, they probably canned because it would be overlapping with the Amber Canyon release. And I don't see them doing a dual event, especially when unannounced. So, I think they canned Eevee Week entirely, because that would be the second week of the Amber Canyon week. Which that was kind of a meh event anyway, so I'm not too sad to see that one go. As for after that, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of downtime, so there's probably be some sort of event in there between then and Christmas. Well, here we are. Just saw the specialties of each new Mons, still in disbelief. It is a bit surprising. It's surprising, but gonna be so nice to make keema curry on regular weeks. Yeah, that's a big thing, getting to 77. Like I said, 78 is a huge product. Like, that is a big milestone. But going up to 81 is just... You're doing it just to get it out of the way. It's not numerically optimal. If I had the seeds, I'd invest in my Riolu to run alongside Swalot until the Candy Boost event. I mean, fair enough. I'm going to be running 2 Swalots right now. I'm just... After tonight, after I get my sleep points from tonight, I'm buying another main skill seed and putting the last one into my second Swalot. Because my second Swalot's only main skill level 7 right now. During the Christmas event, those 2 are going to go insane. Okay, yeah, I'd love a full team of invested Swalots for those weeks. Probably Christmas, yeah. Can you imagine everyone is on the new island trying to catch the new Pokemon and the spawn pool is just flooded with Eevees? No, I need to amass Eevee candies. Oh gosh. Is there an evolution that spawns at Amber Canyon? I wonder what evolution is there, because they usually try to include some. I imagine Flareon, maybe? Let's see. What evolution is there? We're plural. Are there any evolutions? Usually they're higher drowsy power requirement-ish. I don't think there are any evolutions. I think it's just Eevee. I'm not seeing any evolutions here. So, if you were to go to Amber Canyon during the quote-quote Eevee week, it would just be Eevee that's boosted, because Eevee spawns everywhere, for those of you that don't know. It's like one of the 3 universal Pokemon. There are only 3 Pokemon that spawn at every island, or 3 lines that spawn at every island. And they each have a reasoning for that. Eevee is just because it's kind of just universal, I guess, in like every type. So they just kind of put it everywhere. The other one's Cleffa, so that you can always encounter it on the new moon, or not the new moon, the full moon. And Clefairy, the Clefairy line. And then the other one is Ditto, because its whole gimmick is that it has a different sleep style at every island, so they have to put it at every island. Okay, what warming ginger current ingredient call is 60 per day with Zing Zap? Yes, that is true. However, that's not bad. That's a really easy meta call to make. Fun fact, I had this sheet earlier I was showing off. I haven't finished this thing yet. I intend to use this in a future video. It might look a lot different than this, so this is a very rough beta version of it, but yeah, to meet that meta call with Ginger, the odds without a good camp ticket of getting a Tyranitar, like 1 in 8 roughly. I think that's like 1 in 8 basically. 1 in 8 Tyranitars that you catch can meet that call at level 60, which is interesting to know because the odds of getting the mono list is 1 in 9, which means that pretty much any mono Tyranitar can do it. Meet that meta call, and a lot of ABA Tyranitars or AAB or AAX Tyranitars can probably also make it, which means that the odds of catching that is actually better than catching the mono list. Also, I just realized Aggron for Sausage. I mean, the meta call for Sausage must be pretty low right now, comparative to how much Aggron can produce then, because that's insane to think about it. But anyway, let's move past that. That's a not a super nice looking spreadsheet. Saw 6 Cleffa today. That's possible. Full Moon does boost their spawn rate, and today is the much greater appearance rate. Every time the full moon itself is a much greater appearance rate. So, is this the first island that doesn't have any of the Pikachu line? No, that is not the case. I don't think Lapis has any of them, if I'm right. Or no, Lapis has Pichu. I know there's another one that doesn't. Is it Snowdrop, maybe? I think it's Snowdrop. I know that they all... I know Pikachu's at Cyan. Or maybe it's Top. I don't think there's any at Top. I can prove this if I'm wrong about Top. I don't know. I don't think Top has any of the Pika line either. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere. Okay. It's first time at Top though, so can't expect much. Oh, with the Cleffa. Makes sense. Daily Mono Tyranitar can produce quadruple call. I would believe that. Tyranitar is insane, and the call right now is really, really low. It's one of the lowest, which is funny because we have a pseudo for that ingredient, so the fact that the call is so low, it's like... I'm surprised none of the new meals take Ginger, I'm going to be completely honest. Do you invest in Sableye with Skill Trigger S, Skill Trigger M, Help Speed S, Inventory S, Help Bonus Timid Nature? Is Sableye even worth it? Sableye can be worth it. The problem is he's a decent amount worse than a Swalot. So the comparison that I'd make there is, like, what would it take for a Swalot of comparable productivity? And here's the thing. Now I can actually run that calculation for you real quick. So it's Skill Trigger M, Skill Trigger S, Help Speed S, which you could sub-skill seed. I don't know if you have the capability to do so, but I'm going to assume you do to give the best benefit of the doubt to this Sableye. Inventory S help bonus. I don't really care about the last ones, though, because you're not going to be getting them anytime soon. Probably never going to get them, just because of how much investment that takes. I'm going to assume you're not going to put a main skill seed into it, so I'm just going to... Let's see. What's the Dream Shard Portuguese? 16298? Here's a fun thing we can do. Wow, Snowdrop really is bad. Yeah, it is bad. I would agree with that. Random calculations. Skill, Dream Shards. Minimum metric count, what was it again? 16298? At level 50, which is what I was evaluating at. And let's just compare to Swallots, because that's really what the comparison is. And I guess we could also add in Lucario, because that one's also relatively reasonable to invest in. Let's see. Fully upgraded. Okay. While this is running, I'm gonna catch up on chat a little bit more. I didn't get in the start of the live stream. Could I get the Spark Notes? Okay, Spark Notes. Crustle Ingredient Draw. Best Ingredient Draw Pokemon they've given us. If Ingredient Draw is to ever work, it's going to be working on Crustle. But no other, like, it's the best they've done with Ingredient Draw in my mind. Pair it with a good milk producer, and you basically have the Groton. Flygon is the mono avocado option. I mean, what else is there? It was given the pseudo, well, the quote-quote pseudo treatment that I referred to before, but it's no longer the pseudo treatment because the pseudo Salamence is mono potato, but it's berry specialist, dragon type. Nothing amazing. Well, actually, it's good. It's solid. It's one of the better berry specialists in the game, but not game-breakingly so. It's one of the new better berry specialists, but yeah, nothing crazy. It's still really good though. And dragon type berry, obviously, with the pod expansion sub skill, or main skill, which I'm pretty certain that is the first berry specialist with pod expansion, which is an interesting combo. Anyway, to answer that question, that person earlier, roughly 8.65% of Swallots you can catch will outperform, will be equal to or better than that Sableye, and roughly 0.63% of Lucarios. So can you do it? I mean, are you fine with catching roughly 12 to 13 more Swallots on average? Remember, that's averages. RNG isn't like, oh, after 12 more you're gonna catch that Swalot, but Swalot's pretty reliable, and it is better than Sableye in general, but you have a pretty solid one there, so it would take a decently rare Swalot to outperform it. I understand if you don't want to hunt for that 8.65%. And you can always invest both, so that theoretically you have one Shard Farmer, no matter which type of expert mode role you get, because ideally you'd have both covered if you're getting that late in the game. Anyway, I'd probably skill seed, sub-skill seed. Oh, gotcha. Do you need supplemental ingredient specialists to help out Crustle, or can it manage by itself? It's not gonna fully manage by itself. You would need a supplement in some way, either through a supplemental provider or through... Well, I guess I need to run comparisons to actually figure that out exactly. I would need to figure that out. Give me a moment here. I didn't fully run that calculation. We just kind of estimated. But let's see. If you have a decent one, I'm just going to go with decent for now. It would basically need to have the ABC list, which is funny because it's a skill specialist, but it actually kind of does matter here. Let's say we main skill seed all the way up. Now, we do have to hand calculate this a little bit, because right now it's assuming, like, normal. And we'd be assuming good camp ticket for this one, because you're not really trying to make the Groton without good camp ticket, generally speaking. With a decent healer. Okay, let's just... Let's go into this. Okay, man, I need to clean up my tabs a little bit. We're going to exit out some of these tabs. Hope I answered your question well enough. Okay, there's the Crustle. We can close out a Venusaur, Flygon Salamence. I'm just going to close out a... I think I had multiple hold the same tab open. Okay. If I need more of that, I'll pull it up again later. I'll focus down to just what I need for now. Okay. So, we need for oil. The call is 92. For avocados, the call is 20. For this meal specifically, it's 66. And then for potatoes, it is 60, I believe. Right? Right? It is. It's 60. Now this, like, decent Crustle. This decent Crustle is procking 6.76 times per day. That means roughly 6 per ingredient off of proc, because each time it procs, it gives you 18 of one of the ingredients. So if it's an even chance across all 3, if we assume an even chance spread across all 3, then it's going to be 6 per proc. So times the number of procs is how many ingredients we're going to be getting. There is something wrong there. I forgot to make that a fixed reference. Give me a moment. There we go. That fixes things. So then we also need to include its base productivity, which, just because put oil last, because it's A, B, C. Okay, 19.2 potatoes. And then how many avocados? 6.4. And then 32 oil. We're just gonna sum these two things. And then equals, to see the difference of from what it is to the goal, we have that. So it's about 20 per day off on the oil and the avocados, and it's meeting about the potatoes. But this isn't really, like, if you caught a really good one, let's see, let's assume like one of the best possible Crussels. I'm gonna give it speed up because then it increases both productivities, and then even just like some skill trigger. How does this compare? And let's say there's a stack of help bonus on the team, like just one stack. Then how does it look instead? We're looking at 8.63. Oh, it's still referencing off of that because... Okay, we need to change this to 11. That makes it look significantly better, chat. 21.83 potatoes off the base. And then... No, it's 20.11. Whoops. Where'd I... No, it is 21.83. 36.39 oil. And then 7.28 avocados. That one's gonna make the smallest difference. Then you're only... Look at that. Oh, it was 96. Oh, wait, whoops, you're right. Okay, that does make a bigger difference. I don't know where I got 92 from. Probably because it's 32, so my brain just kept the 2 in there. So, yeah. Like, this isn't that far off, realistically. Like, and it's going to be a lot... Like, stockpiling avocados is not going to be a bad idea in general, just because it's in the two of the top meals. If you want to build around that, then it's not the worst idea. Oil. That is a decent amount of berry mons. I think that there's some things that have oil on them, so supplementing that isn't impossible. Just 7.8 per day. Like, that's totally reasonable. But you'd have to catch a really, really good one. We could even maybe... An extra help bonus stack, though, probably does make it cross the threshold of possible, if I had to guess. So 2 help bonus stacks, good camp ticket, really solid stats. If you had better stats than this, you probably could pull it off. Like, if you got triple trigger and help speed M, but that's also an insane ask. But, like I said, 9.1. Let's see, if we change these ones to now this one, 17. What's the possibility here? That gets it a bit closer. Still not quite there, but within reasonable range. I bet you with enough health bonus stacks and good enough stats, you can do it. The thing is, you need something really, really good to go without supplementing. I think the idea is you just have to accept that you are going to supplement. And you do have to be good and disciplined to not overspend your ingredients. Because you can be balancing tight lines. Maybe you can spend a few extra potatoes as filler because it will be overproducing that a little bit. But ideally, you want an ABC Crustle, and you want it to have the right stats. That's also the thing. You want it to be ABC. Any other stat spread isn't going to be very good, because if we were to throw this off and make it, say, AAC, then now the numbers are 23.21 avocados, which, let's see, 23.21 here. You way overproduce them, but you're now producing 0 potatoes. Actually, that's not bad looking at this now. AAC is also decent. Okay, so that's ABC, that's 1 in 3. You just want to make sure there's oil in the C slot. You want to make sure there's oil in the C slot because that one would make a big difference. If you had to cut that out, even if you were overproducing in the other ones, cutting that out. Well, if you have another supplementer in there, you know, because let's pretend it's ABA. Let's just see. Then it's making 38.68. I think it'll just be overproducing 23.21. Then you just have to stockpile oil or supplement oil. I think... Okay, maybe all spreads are viable with this because most of it's coming off the skill anyway. It's just you're going to have different challenges depending on what your Crustle's ingredient list is. Interestingly, though, I think the one list that really doesn't work is the mono because you're going to have to be supplementing 2 different ingredients. And, like, one in a huge portion and a secondary one in a much smaller portion. Which having 2 ingredients... If you're stockpiling in this big of an amount or supplementing in this big of an amount, you don't want to have to deal with a secondary ingredient at all. So interestingly, I think the mono list is the worst list on the Crustle. I think it's like the one Pokemon that's the case for. Because of what it's trying to do. What's my current best Team RP? Well, the same as my best Team RP anywhere else, because Team RP doesn't matter for Island. I assume you mean my strength projection. In which case, I mean, this is the team I intend to run for both weeks of the event. Because I've just come to accept that I'm not going to do particularly well for strength because it is a new island. And as long as I hit Master 3, which this shows me hitting Master 2, that will be the case if I don't run something else. But for the first portion of the week, for most of the week, I intend to run Sceptile, or maybe Butterfree? What's better, Butterfree or Sceptile? Sceptile, 58k versus Butterfree... 74k, that's better. I'll run this Butterfree up until I hit Master 3. Once I hit Master 3, then I'm gonna swap on the Swalot, just take the team to like that way. If I was to actually try and make a team that could push strength at there, that would take some decent amount of time to figure out. I can tell you this, Cresselia is gonna be the cornerstone of that team. Espeon almost always goes with Cresselia everywhere, so that's basically 2 team slots filled in. I probably wouldn't want my Arbok, because it's my best Pokemon for Amber Canyon, because I caught a really good one. I know it kind of sucks in general, but I caught a really, really solid one, so it's worthwhile for me. And then for the other 2 slots, probably just rotating to try and make a strong meal of some sort, or stockpiling for some type of meal. I could get fancy. My best bet would probably be something like... I don't know. I'd probably have to use just 2 ingredient specialists. So, yeah, I have no clue, actually. Maybe not desserts. Well, I'm already making milk, so it's probably going to be off of apple acid if I had it at 65. This isn't the case, but... it'd probably be like something like Chansey to also get a little bit of supplemental healing there. Good camp ticket, make sure I have that all set. Salads. And then probably just something to... the apples are a bigger difference, so we'd run Skeledirge. Oh, Jazz, yo, thank you so much for the $9.99 good camp ticket. Yes, yes, I did put the good camp ticket in. Thanks for the reminder, though. It is good to see. And thanks for the $10. It goes a long way. Then yeah. Stockpiling that little bit of tomatoes and a little bit of milk that the Espeon's not making, I'd be able to clear this. Which will actually say, Amber, I don't have to manually click it anymore. I need to remember that. 2.6 million, but that's also not assuming stockpiling. If I'm to stockpile, assume that I get all the ingredients needed. This team pulls in just over 3 million strength, is what I could get week 2 if I really prep it out and plan for just this meal. I could push for 3 million strength and get there, but I'd be sacrificing a ton of Dream Shards from the Dream Shard Magnet Swallots. I'd be sacrificing... I'd have to use some easy travel tickets, just because of... I'd have to get salads. Ultimately, I'd have to get salads. So... it's not worth it, considering how many resources I'd have to put into it to get minimal gains. So... that's why I'm not running this optimal, or this strength-focused team, and instead am just running 2 Swallots instead, and a Berry Specialist, and then, like, my Generalists. Because, while I can do this, I don't really want to, because it would be expensive, and while the new Mons excite me, pushing strength doesn't always help with catching the new Mons. Just I got here, how are the new Mons? They're pretty solid. Salamence is not necessarily projected to be broken, like Orindor just said. It's looking like it's a good Berry Specialist. Around the same level of, like, Typhlosion, Raichu, Steelix. I'd say in that field, it's not game-breakingly amazing, but it's definitely the new best Berry Specialist for Amber Canyon by quite a large margin, because the Berry Specialists we had there before just all kind of suck. So, it's the best Berry Specialist for Amber Canyon, and honestly... for anyone who hasn't caught, like, my Arbok, for anybody who hasn't caught a Butterfree or Altaria of similar value to this one, Salamence is going to be a must-have, honestly, for Amber Canyon, which is funny because it's not available until Amber Canyon. Crustle and Dwebble, weird place in the meta, it's ingredient draw. It's going to be the best ingredient draw Pokemon in my mind, and... bizarrely, I think you want any ingredient list except for Mono, is the conclusion I've reached so far. Flygon is the Mono Avocado option. So, I mean, anything that got the Mono Avocado treatment was going to be good. Like, just because it's the avocado farmer. So, that's the conclusions that I've reached there, Mitchell. And it was given charge energy, yes, similarly to Dragonite and Tyranitar. Salamence, on the other hand, is just... it's a Berry Specialist with Cooking Power Pests and some potatoes. Now, the real question... potatoes. Milk. I have a Luxray. Avocado. If I caught a good Salamence, I've got ways to make milk on both my accounts. But my main account, obviously, is the one that we'd be looking at with Salamence. Oh, also, I wonder what the Sleepers comparison is now, because there's a new Berry Specialist that's better. So does that makes another Pokemon legal, right? I guess I have to look here. This is a fun comparison that I make every now and then. I always have to set it this way for this comparison. Okay, thanks. They're all useful in Excel and niches. Crustle is the one that there's a use case for it, but it's a lot more difficult to use. I'd say don't just catch it because you think it's... You have to know what to use the Crustle for, but it's got potential, in my mind, if you catch a really, really good one. Is this pre-recorded? No, it is not, Aliabs. I am talking to you. Okay. We only want berry specialists for this comparison. Specialty berries. Yeah, it's looking pretty solid. Oh, they have its ingredient rate out already. Cool. 21.7. That's a decently high ingredient rate for a Berrymon. Like, it's not the highest of highs. There certainly are things with more ingredient rate, like for Alligator and Raichu, and even Alola Tails, as you can see here, but a lot of them are lower. Of the final evolutions, there we go. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 24 here. 25, 26, 27, 28. So 8, 14 cuts off there, right? Wait. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I swear Banette became legal, because that just came up recently. So what is missing here that's causing it to not be legal? What am I doing differently? Ah, favored berry, that's it. Everything needs to have favored berry for this comparison. For Sleeper's legality. There we go. And then, yeah, Banette's still the cutoff. So it took it from an odd number to an even number, so it actually didn't make another Pokemon legal. But if things continue how they are, then theoretically, if they had one more good berry specialist, then Cantonian Ninetales could become Sleeper's legal. I don't think I'm going to use that, though, because that doesn't sound right to me. I guess it really isn't that far off from Banette, so I guess it's reasonable. It just feels wrong. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what. Now, here's the real question: what are the odds of catching? What are the odds of catching a Flygon good enough? Let's see. I'm gonna run this. I think I did this earlier, but I want to run it again. It's 84, right? 84 is the amount. Yeah, that sounds right. That's a multiple of 3. Can you share my Cress over other healer Pokemon who heals more? Other healer Pokemon heal more, like hands down. Cress is a great healer, or it's an alright healer that has a great secondary effect in giving also a ton of raw strength. And the raw strength is so much. That's the thing, though. The reason why Cress might be better than other healers is not because it's a better healer. It is a worse healer. You are going to have less reliable healing. However, the extra strength that Cress is providing through its main skill that other healers are not providing is such an extraordinary amount of strength that on a good Cress, it overcomes the negatives of that worse off healing. And so much so to a point that having a secondary healer honestly kind of becomes redundant. So it's not really worth running a second healer because it's more optimal to run something else. I made an entire video about that. I called it The Case for Cress. It's an older... Well, it was released around the time that Cresselia was released. So if you're more interested, you can go watch that video. But that's the spark notes of it. Do you not like Kanto Pokemon? I don't know what I had on the screen before, so... I do like Kanto Pokemon, but the Kanto starters are ingredient specialists. Do you feel like they will do a Cress rerun event? If they do, it'll be a while before they do it. I mean, it took them over a year before... It was more than a year later that they gave us the Legendary Beast rerun event, after the final one had its event. Because Suicune's was like... I think it was about 13 months prior to the Legendary Beast rerun event, so if they do it... Cresselia was back in Gosh, I do not have my timeline straight. Was it back in like April or something like that? I don't know exactly. But if we assume that, if you assume it'll be 13 months from then I guess start a timer then. Was just passing by. Hope you have a good stream. Thanks for the info on the new Mons. Anytime. Thanks for tuning in, Mitchell. Crest just feels like a 2-for-1. It does two things while only occupying one team slot, double the value. Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, it's more like it's doing a 1.5-for-1 because really I think it's doing a 0.75 times job on each one. But still, that's still a better deal. That's still 1.5 Mons. And like I said, it makes a secondary... If you have a really, really good one, it makes a secondary healer redundant. So, it's... In my mind... Honestly, if I had to pick a best Pokemon in the game, assuming you have a good one, because that's the big problem with legendaries, is you need to catch a good one, and that's a borderline impossible thing to do. But assuming you have a good one, I think Cresselia is the best Pokemon in the entire game. Genuinely. I guess my tier list would say that, so... Nice. Crest was mid-April or so. Okay. So if we assume April, that's 4, so 5, May. So you can assume maybe May of next year, roughly, as an estimate. If it's 13 months. I don't remember exactly what the timeline with Suicune versus the rerun event was, so it might have been 13 months. I don't know. Nice live stream. Do you have one of the three you are going to prioritize hunting? I'm leaning Flygon. During the event, main account... Probably Flygon, because I already have a good berry specialist for Amber Canyon, so I don't need what Salamence can offer immediately. I also have a okay Altaria. It's not a great one, but I have one that's at least okay. That if I really need Dragon Berries, I theoretically could run that. As far as avocados, though, I have nothing. And Crustle... If I come across Dwebble, I'll catch them, but it's not a priority for me on my main account. However, the Sleepers is going to be hunting Cressel hardcore, just because it's going to be able to use it. It's got ingredient draw, and a lot of people, I think, underrate the skill. Or not underrate the skill. So, do you compare shiny forms yet, or is it too early to decide? I could have done that in the data mine, honestly, because they had all that stuff live already. I just have to pull up their Rain on X pages again. Give me a moment here. I actually don't like Salamence's shiny in this game. I'm gonna be completely... I looked at it the other day. I love Salamence's shiny in the base games. I will never say a thing against Salamence's shiny, but there's something wrong about it in Sleep. I'm going to say that. I think they did his body color different. Like, I don't know. But anyway, that's Crustle, Salamence, Flygon. I actually don't know what Flygon's shiny looks like, to be honest. But yeah, Flygon's definitely my primary hunt for my main account. I do like Crustle's shiny. I know it's like the same color, but as the shiny Salamence just doesn't look right to me in this game. I've seen shiny Salamence in other games, and it looks amazing. It's one of my favorite shinies. But in this game, it doesn't look right to me, and I don't know what it is. Okay, looking forward for them adding another mythical besides Darkrai. I wonder how they treat it as an event. We'll see. It could be interesting. There's a lot of speculation as what the next mythical could be. I think that it could be like Shaman because of the whole flower thing that they did with the flowers back with the anniversary. It also could be Mew. I mean, a lot of people want Mew. Jirachi makes sense with Sleep theming. There are a lot of mythicals that could be added to the game and would make a lot of sense. So I'll be interested to see. Watch them come completely out of left field and add like Pecharunt or something. I'm not expecting that. That's just a joke. But if that turns out to be true, please somebody clip this. Somebody come back to the stream and clip this if that is true. Anyway, Too Vibrant. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that like the dark, the lack of lines. I don't know what it is, but I don't like its shiny in this game. I like it otherwise. Anyway, Crustl's 3-star sleep is incredibly peak. What is its 3-star sleep? Oh, wait. On top sleep? It's not in here. I think I've seen it. It's in the Discord, if I'm right. Not my Discord, the sleep Discord. Let's see if I can find it here. I saw people showing it earlier. Let's... I don't know. I'm sure it's cool, but... Oh yeah, I could probably go to... What's his name? Cerebee's page. I always forget about Cerebee as well. Cerebee might have it. The Webble. Here we go. Cerebee's page. Okay, it's not showing the Dwebble. Not showing the Crustle either. Okay, I don't know where to see this. Shiny Salamence looks the same in other games like in Go. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but I feel like it doesn't look the same in this game. Like there's something off about it. Shiny Salamence. Anyway, Flygon. I don't know what is... Oh, I've seen Shiny Flygon before. Yeah, that looks alright. I think that looks good. I think that's actually the best of the 3 Shinies in Sleep, honestly. Yeah, I like that. All of them are kind of... like... I do like Crustle's Shiny. There's also... I thought it was purple for some reason, but it wasn't. So that's... The fact that it's green is actually a bit more mid to me. They're all green shinies, interestingly enough. I still think I rank Flygon's best. And Hoopa because of ZA. I could see that as well. Otherwise, one could make the case for Zeraora. I think that's getting a... That's also getting... Well, potentially. We'll see. What'd you miss? Well, 3 new Mons, 1 ingredient, 1 berry, 1 skill. Salamence is a Berrymon, and Flygon is the Mono Avocado option. So level cap for recipes increasing on the debut day or at the event week? Probably not either. Typically, level cap for recipes increases with Mon level cap increase. They go hand in hand with research rank. Research rank isn't going up for this. Only your sleep style dex goals are. There's a bit of a desync between the different progression elements in this game. Like area bonus and pot size goes up with new island releases and research dex goals, and then Pokemon level and meal level goes up with research rank increases, which are usually staggered. I think they try and stagger those things to make it feel like we're getting more progression continuously when we aren't necessarily, because instead of giving us in huge batches all at once to overwhelm us, they space it out across the year, which I think is kind of nice. But it means that with this circumstance, they're not increasing the level cap for meals. So, neither. Okay. I did want to see if we run Flygon here. What does it take? What is the rarity of one that makes 84 per day? That's fully upgraded. 84 avocados. Dodged a spoiler there, lol. Is that a reference to what I was saying about Zeraora? I mean, I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. 1%. Wow. Okay. 1 in 100 caught Flygons can meet the meta call without good camp tickets. If you're operating with good camp... Oh, that's with always max energy. I didn't even realize that I had that energy setting set up that way. If you have with good camp ticket, then the odds are going to be better. Probably significantly better. This is one of the tools I've been waiting for to be released in Rain on X. Unfortunately, how many more did this job all right? But now this is like more in depth. It actually takes into account inventory and everything like that. So I'm gonna be using this tool a ton for analysis. I'm so glad they added it. I'm so sorry to people that are free to use Rain on, but I'm not, and I'll be taking advantage of that, especially since I make content for the game. So, 2.31% probability. That's still not great. What if we have 4 helping bonus stacks? It's doable. That's roughly 50 catches if you think about it. Let's see, if we have 4 help bonus stacks, how does this become it? What's the probability there? 4.31%. This is going to be a less than 1 in 20. Oh man, that's going to be a difficult hunt. That's going to be a pretty difficult hunt, I'd say. I think I'm going to... Call me crazy, but I think I'm going to go out there and make an infographic. I'm going to make a standardized... I'll probably do standardized energy of always max energy. Like, I think that's a good camp ticket. And then, like, standardize maybe, like, a help bonus stack. And then run calculations like that. And then put those numbers out there for each ingredient and what the odds are of catching an ingredient specialist with that probability of actually meeting those meta call numbers, because I think those are... It'll put a good idea of, like, what good ingredient special... Which ones are the more difficult ingredients to get good farmers of. Because right now I think oil is just the worst thing in the world. Oil sucks. Let's not talk about oil. It was already bad and it just got worse. It got worse, everybody. 96 a day. 96 oil a day, which isn't... It's harder to get a 96 oil a day Toxicroak or Luxray than it is to get a 96 oil, than it is to get a 123 milk per day Blastoise. It takes better sub skills, rarer sub skills. But yeah, I don't know. Things are looking pretty up and up. The game is fun. The Pokemon are they're generally good. Crustle's gonna be a weird one. If you have a really, really solid Crustle, then I think there's potential. Just I would say it doesn't want to be mono. It's the first Pokemon that I truly think does not want a mono list. I'd say every berry specialist mono lists are better because it allows more flexibility of usage. Allows them to actually contribute a decent amount to the meal, the base meal, whereas they wouldn't be able to do that normally with an ABC list because they're going to be producing such small quantities that you're never going to be contributing a decent amount. Ingredient specialists, it depends on the mon, but they usually prefer mono for most players. Maybe ABB. But as far as mixed lists go, I think genuinely Crustle is the one Pokemon that a mono list would hinder it from what it's trying to do. Can an AA Quaquaval with IFM be enough to make 66 soybeans a day? AA? So, like, not mono, but AAX, I'm assuming. Can it make 66 a day? Let's say at 50. If you have good camp ticket, it definitely can. And always max energy. Oh, wait, that's not always max energy. Yeah, I can reasonably do that. What Shinx was at Amber Canyon to help with oil? Well, Shinx wouldn't be at Amber Canyon, but Shinx is, Luxray is one of the best oil farmers in the game. Slightly outperformed by Mawile in a way, but Mawile also takes main skill seeds if you want it to be maximized, but that's a whole different discussion. Are there new recipes? I mean, yes. The information for the new recipes was live, I believe, yesterday. if I'm right. Yeah, or 2 days ago, something like that. I did a stream on it then. Made a video on it then. They're based around avocados, all 4 of them. Who would have known? Probably everybody, because they're adding avocados. But 2 new ones, 1 new top salad, 1 new top curry. Meanwhile, desserts, the other 2 meals are just kind of more like mid-range meals that really aren't making an impact on anyone unless you catch a Flygon early on and are able to actually make that meal, and actually it works for your team. So, we'll see. I've decided I'm just going to full invest in my Mono Milk, Help Bonus, Help Speed M, Lonely Nature Squirtle. I mean, that's going to be solid. That's going to make you plenty of milk. Okay. Pulls 140 milk a day without good camp ticket. Was hoping to get IFM subskill, but doesn't seem like it needs it. Well, here's the thing, Jazz. Let's see. What is the odds of getting a better one than that? Let's take a look here. I love this tool. This is like one of the best tools that RainOnX has added. I'm so happy with it. But anyway, milk, you're getting a count of 140 a day. Without good, well, I should probably actually see what it is with my background settings so that I make sure that I'm actually comparing it fairly. Say without good camp ticket. Okay. Okay. You said help bonus, and having help bonus as well is an amazing boon. Help speed M. You just said lonely nature, so I'm gonna assume that the 3rd subskill is probably useless. And then lonely, which is like that. Is the event shiny boosted? As far as I'm aware, no. Okay. For me, it's showing 118, so I'm going to go off of, well, we'll say 119, because it's going to factor this in. 119. Actually, it'd be 120, because of that as well. It's... which tab? I've fallen... oh, here you go. What are the odds of catching Adder above that? Let's see. It's looking pretty solid there, Jazz. And you probably have... wait, I just realized I forgot. You probably have 1 gold subskill locked. That definitely would change things. Yeah, less than 1% of Blastoise is going to produce the same or greater than the one that you have. You should invest that one. Like, there's no doubt about it after running that comparison there. Don't be shy, VR. Max out Blastoise's main skill. Actually, technically, for it to be a fair comparison, I should do that. Because I did turn on fully upgraded here. So, it actually was underproducing there. Technically, it should be... this is giving it 3, so 121. Actually, 122 after you have the decimal in there. I'm not running that again, though. It's going to make a very minimal impact. Oh, my settings are on always max energy, optimistic, and 5 health bonus. That will make it make a lot more, but still, making 120 is still basically Metacall, and that's without good camp ticket active, so I'd still definitely say it's worthwhile investing, because even 1 help bonus stack is probably going to make that cross a decent threshold. Actually, wait, did I have a help bonus stack? Oh, I had 2 help bonus stacks. Okay, that actually will make a difference. What was it? 121? 122? 121? Yeah, 122. With 2 help bonus stacks. It's this one. Man, I need to organize these tabs somehow. I'm going to complain about that a lot. And then 2 help bonus stacks. Okay. Big Man Blast. That's a great song. Big Man Blastoise. Okay. The actual rarity, when you account for everything all tied in together, it's probably not as good as 1%, but 1.5%. Just under. So you're looking at 1 in 69 Blastoise. Roughly 1 in every 69 Blastoise you can catch are at or better than that one. Do you want to catch, on average, another 69 Blastoise? That's up to you. On average. Guys, I have a shiny Mono Milk Blastoise, considering green and fighting down, and nothing but help speed us at 25. I think even at 60 it'd be too weak. I mean, if you wait until the mint, minting a shiny that's meh is like reasonable because it's a shiny, but it's still, would it be optimal? No, but you'd be doing it for fun. I mean, if you sub-skill seed it to help speed M, then you are looking at, it would be a neutral after minting. That's 102 with 2 help bonus stacks. I mean, if you're with good camp ticket, it can meet the new meta call of 123. So that's if you have 2 help bonus stacks as well. So I mean, it's not meeting the new meta call, but it's a shiny. Honestly, if I needed a milk farmer, I'd probably invest because it's a shiny. But I'd wait until there's a mint, until I have a mint. Or I catch something that truly is better that just puts it to shame. Is it rarer than encountering a Suicune in the wild? That depends on your drowsy power and island, and that's a very complicated calculation that will make my computer burn, that I do not intend to do on stream. Can my computer handle it? Yes, but those simulations, when I make the videos that have those like rarity simulations for like any of the Dream Shard productivity ones, I'm going to tell you guys now, those ones take some of the most amount of time of any of my videos on the channel because of just how long those simulations take to run. And how long I spend inputting data points. Because I have to hand type all those in. I can't copy and paste from Rain on X because it copy and pastes a lot of other information. So, yeah. How 5-stack help bonus interact with good camp ticket? Well, 5-stack you're never going to see. It only goes up to 4 because the Pokemon itself would have to have help bonus to be the 5th stack. However, outside of that, I mean, they're independent features. They're independent functions. So they're both multiplicative. Good camp ticket increases productivity by 20%. Meanwhile, help bonus having 4 stacks is going to decrease. It's going to. That's a lot more complicated. It's going to take 20% off of their base frequency, although it's capped at 35% from all sub-skills, so if Pokemon has help speed M, that's going to make a difference in how much it impacts it, and then nature is impacted at the 3rd system that's after all of that. So, how different frequency modifiers apply, when they are, what's affected by the speed cap, and what's not affected by the speed cap, is a lot more discussion, but basically they're completely independent systems. At least good camp ticket and help bonus are. So every help bonus stack helps even more, even with good camp ticket active. You can see that with that, this one meets the meta call if you have a maxed out thing and good camp ticket. So right, Raptor, what a dream come true. My mom get thrown into the analyzer on stream. I mean, it's pretty simple, and what else am I talking about right now? I mean, we've discussed a lot about the new Mons. If anyone tunes in and wants me to discuss the new Mons, I'm glad to go over them again. They're pretty interesting. I mean, Flygon, I don't really have much to say about Flygon because it's like, it's the Mono Avocado Mon. It's good. Like, its B and C ingredients are nice and synergistic, but I really don't see anybody using it as anything other than the Mono Avocado Mon because it's what we have for it. So, like, it's what everyone's going to be hunting it for. I think there might be some potential in AAC paired with ABA Dragonite. If I catch one that's like that, I'll probably invest it just, once again, to prove the viability of mono lists. I'm not saying they're the optimal decision, but to prove the viability of, not mono lists, of non-mono lists. But I'll be the one person. Your thoughts of ingredient Pokemon having Berry Finding S? Can be good. Depends on the ingredient specialist. I think some people like to overemphasize the fact that ingredient, like, it hurts the inventory. Yes, it does, but once again, it's like the whole case for Crest thing. Like, the gains outweigh the losses, even if the losses are a lot. It's like, yeah, I don't even know how to put it, but inventory does make an impact, but it's not something to concern yourself too much with, unless you just don't check the app all that often. One thing about it, am I correct in assuming good camp ticket offsets debuffs of Greengrass Expert? Basically only been going when I can spare the ticket because of for my healer otherwise. So you are correct. It more than offsets the debuffs. So the debuffs are plus 15% frequency. Meanwhile, Greengrass, or Good Camp Ticket is plus 20% productivity. Now those are different measurements, which makes that difficult, but it's making their frequency 1.15 times for the debuffs to Greengrass Expert Mode. Meanwhile, the buffs from Good Camp Ticket is 1 divided by 1.2, because it's giving you a 20% increase to productivity, which productivity is the inverse of a frequency modifier. So this is actually what the two modifiers are to the Pokemon's base frequency. Remember, smaller than 1 is actually good because you're modifying the base time between helps. So if you multiply these together, you get what the difference is. And as you can see, it actually comes out to 0.958. So they're actually roughly 4.2-ish% faster on expert mode with a Good Camp Ticket than non-expert mode without. So do with that information as you wish. New Mons, please. Okay, new Mons. I guess I'll briefly go through them. Salamence, best berry specialist for Amber Canyon. All the other berry specialists that are like for that island all kind of suck. And Salamence, while it's not game-breakingly good, it's no Sceptile, it is a solid berry specialist. It's right up there with Steelix, with Raichu, with the Johto starters in terms of berry output, but it's just now on a dragon Pokemon. It's also got Cooking Power Up S, which is interesting on a berry specialist. I'll be interested to see how people use that, because Cooking Power Up S is more something that I think of for ingredient Mons, because they're the ones that can actually make use of it, producing ingredients and then being able to increase the pot size to use the ingredients they're giving. But if you could run this on a team with a couple ingredient specialists, maybe it's just making it more reliable, more possible Pokemon to proc it, I can see some potential there. But it's the first berry specialist with that skill, as far as I'm aware. Crustle ingredient draw with avocado, potato, oil in roughly those, in that order for its ABC list, and those are the 3 ingredients in its ingredient draw. Pool. It's interesting because it's not going to be particularly good at producing any one of these ingredients. However, all 3 of these ingredients are required in roughly this proportion for one of the new meals, the gratin. So if you pair this with a good milk producer, if you catch a really good one, especially one with like an ABC list, pair with a good milk producer, maybe supplement or stockpile here or there, you could theoretically produce one of the top strength meals in the entire game now, with just 2 Pokemon on the team. Gives a lot more flexibility for the other 3 slots. That's my consensus on it. But it's going to be very difficult to work with, and will take a lot of main skill seeds as well, whereas other ingredient farmers aren't going to take that. And Flygon, charge strength S. It's the Avocado Mon. It's got some synergy for the meal, the curry, the new curry, but it's not like people are gonna hunt it for mono avocados because it's the avocado mon. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. He relies on his speed, primarily being slowed down really sucks for him, so he never performs well at Greengrass Expert unless Fairy is Fade. So, there's a little bit of a fallacy in that message there, calibrating entropy. With the whole concept of he relies on speed primarily, so being slowed down, he really sucks for him. If anything, that's actually better for a Pokemon that relies on speed comparative to one that relies on more triggers. Because slowing them down, the biggest drawback to them, so frequency is gonna, like, they're both harmed by the same percentage, if that makes sense. Whether it's skill focused, whether it's trigger focused or speed focused, they're both harmed the exact same percent. Modifying the speed doesn't make it different how much each one's hurt. However, it being a frequency focused one, if they're harmed by the same amount, the big advantage that comes with is that it effectively is making the inventory bigger without making the inventory actually bigger. But a speed-focused Pokemon is going to benefit more from having a longer between check times before it fills up inventory, if that makes sense. So it's actually better that it's a speed-focused one for Expert Mode. But either way, it sucks on any Pokemon to have a debuff, universally. Okay. How is that not cracked then? He's got Raichu Steelix abilities with Yache Berry instead. Because the overall net productivity is about the same. Not the frequency. If it was the frequency, that would be cracked. But Yache Berry alone is not... Like, it is the strongest berry, but the reasoning why it's producing the same amount of strength is because when we compare it to, say, we'll compare to Raichu, because it's on the opposite end, high or fast frequency, weak berry. If we compare them here, you can see that... Did I give favorite berry to one of them? Yeah, I did. If we compare them, they're almost the same. Salamence is coming a little bit better here, but that's for... It's probably for something else behind the scenes. It's a little bit better, I guess. But either way, because Raichu's making that strength by just making more berries, Salamence is making more strength by higher strength value, less berries. Okay. Funny how the Legends ZA DLC and Amber Canyon debut happened at the same day. I didn't even know the DLC was dropping today. That's kind of funny. That's crazy. ZA DLC, is that true? I pre-ordered it, so I thought it wasn't coming out till like February. Okay. When is it coming out? I don't know. Okay, well, either way. I'll look into that more later. That's not the importance of the stream. Okay. Awesome, thanks for going over that with me. No problem. Anytime. Happy New Island Week. Happy New Island Week indeed, Too Chewy. Just joined the stream. Great job as always. Is the vibe that Flygon is the best of the three as an avocado farmer? What are your thoughts between training a Salamence up or using existing Dragonite? Well, Dragonite and Salamence do different things, so you can't really make the comparison. I mean, Dragonite, we've looked at it before as a pseudo-berry specialist, but now we have an actual berry the reasoning why that was the case was because Altaria was trash. It was the best we had to work with for Dragon Berries, but it really isn't that great. They've given us an actual good Dragon Berry specialist now, so if you want Dragon Berries, go for Salamence. It's just hands down the best at that job. I mean, I can make the comparison here real quick. But ideally a Dragonite will be doing its ingredient thing. Does it gain a lot from Berry Finding? Yes, absolutely. But it's not gonna compete with Salamence. I mean, here it looks better. it looks better when I make this comparison here. Oh, that's also 5 levels higher. Sorry about that. Here it looks like Dragonite's doing better, but that's also because I didn't put them on an equal footing. They don't both have Berry Fighting S here. When I make that comparison, that's a lot more of a big difference. That's roughly 12,000 strength difference per day. Okay. Haha, I check the app every couple hours, sometimes more often, so I'm not sure effective extra inventory helps. I run a gold luck when I can fit around the team, so... Oh, makes sense, makes sense. Balanced. When will the area bonus limit go up? Monday morning after switching islands. It'll go up when... It'll go up the moment, when you unlock the sleep... When the sleep dex goals are available to you in the app, and you have the sleep dex goals accomplished. So I'm definitely going to be getting some because of... I'll be getting both of them achieved right away. Get those rewards, which are kind of underwhelming to rewards in the past, if I'm completely honest. But oh well. Thanks for the answer, King. Anytime, anytime. Share your thoughts on napping versus 1 sleep per day. There are advantages and there are disadvantages. Personally, I think the game is designed around 1 sleep session per day. But they've definitely introduced the napping mechanics. It used to be that napping was just busted, and fundamentally you should have been napping no matter what, genuinely. It was like... Genuinely, it was just the optimal play to nap if you were able to. Nowadays, though, ever since they introduced the 11th spawn nerfs, I think it is more on par with other options, or with 1 sleep style. It's still technically the best if you can make it that your first sleep session is the longer, and then the second sleep session is only like 1%. If you can do that, napping is definitely optimal. But if you're doing even like 50-50 splits, it's going to be a lot more difficult to justify. But can it be optimal? Absolutely. If you really min-max the game and plan your day around it, it's possible, but other than that, it's pretty niche situations where napping is going to be the better choice. You're saying I shouldn't have taken my Berry Fighting S help speed up Swablu from 17 to 15 2 weeks ago when I got Flying Berry and thought I was making a high IQ early investment. I mean, if you have a good one that's worth investment, invest. Like, sub-skills versus species is still definitely the case, and I can make... Well, actually, I guess we'll see here. I haven't actually made this comparison yet. Also, I just realized I need to fix this. I need to fix my settings here. Give me a moment. It's this. We don't want Berry's specialist inventory to be infinite. We don't want always max energy. Okay. Let's see. This is the standard that I gave myself when I was evaluating what Mons just weren't worth the invest at all, no matter what their sub-skills were. The matter was, if a similar Pokemon, a Pokemon that does the same role, with the bare minimum investment sub-skills, can do better than the absolute best possible, then there's no circumstance where you should be investing a Pokemon of that species, was the comparison that I was making. In the case of Salamence versus Altaria, when I make it the bare minimum versus the best possible, Altaria is still doing better. So I don't think it's at the point... It's not below the sub-skills don't trump species line, so it still can be a good investment to go for Altaria if you have the right sub-skills. The question is, what are your sub-skills? Are they truly phenomenal, or are they just okay? Now, you just said Berry Fighting S helps beat M. I mean, it depends on what else is in your box. And what else could have been invested with those resources. Okay, Newmon tier list video after Amber Canyon event. I usually do I do tier list videos I did one in June, I thought. I'll have to double check. I try to do them once. I'm planning on doing them once every 6 months. So, whatever is 6 months from my last one is when I'm going to be doing the next one. That's either December or January. I'll double check. I might wait until after New Year's, I think. Or maybe I'll wait till around New Year's, because a lot of things should be boosted at New Year's, so it might give you good ideas of what to hunt. If you want to take my opinions. Tier lists are innately flawed, but they're fun to do, and that's the point of those videos. So that'll probably be in a couple months, probably December or January. I'll probably stay at Lapis then, since I'll also auto-unlock the next checkpoints. Yes. Yeah, you'll be able to purchase the new pot expansions and get the new area bonus at Lapis if you stay there. If you want 5% area bonus at Amber Canyon, you have to migrate. Because nobody has max area bonus anywhere. Because the new max just released. I think they need to find a better way to scale sleep deck goals, especially for day one players. Don't remember the last time I ever had to quote-unquote work towards a sleep deck goal. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had it. I've always, ever since they started adding new islands, I've had both of the sleep deck goals unlocked when the islands were released, I believe. Maybe that wasn't the case with Lapis, but I definitely have the first one. I might have had to unlock a few sleep styles before getting the next one, but it was like easy because there were new Pokemon at Lapis. So, new Pokemon means more new sleep styles. But now it's like laughably easy. Like right now, I have like 600 something. And the top sleep style deck goal is 510. I have the next island unlocked. Whatever the next island is, I probably already have it unlocked based off the current sleep deck goal trends. They're probably increasing it by 140 for the next cap, but because the last couple ones were 50 plus 50, these two were plus 60 to each one. Add 60 to 510 is 570. If you were to add 60, but maybe if they increase it by 70, it'd be 580, and then from there to 650. Yeah, I already have the next two unlocked. I have the next island unlocked, theoretically, if they're doing another 70 and 70. But also, we don't know what they're going to do, so they could make it more than that. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's gaslight VR and him create the tier list next week. Oh, gosh. I would not be ready for that. I will tell you that. Oh, wait. There's a new area bonus max? Yes. Anytime we get new sleep style deck goals, they release new area bonus cap increase. So now the area bonus cap increase is going up to 85%. So 80% for if you just unlocked Amber Canyon for that sleep style deck goal, 85% for if you have the one beyond that. I've only been playing since January, and I'll have both the new sleep deck goals unlocked as soon as they're unlockable, which tomorrow maybe. Once the Amber Canyon is released in your time zone, that's when they should be unlockable for you. So 3 p.m. You could time travel right now and have them right now. Get those diamonds early, I guess. I wouldn't suggest that because time travel comes with a lot of complications. It's technically against TOS, but it's something that's possible. Thanks for always making exceptional sleep content. You're the reason I don't make sleep content. Simply can't be taught. Well, thank you, Jazz, and hey, don't worry about comparisons to Thief of Joy. We'd love to have more content creators. I know me and Ben Brown both are like, man, I'd love to have more content creators in the field because I want people to watch. Maybe I'm greedy, but I don't watch my own content really because I don't even edit. I'll be completely honest. I just record and upload. I edit for very few videos on very rare occasion. I do have editing software, but I don't even watch back my own content to like edit it. I just watch to make sure I'm uploading the right videos. Sometimes I don't even do that. So yeah, I just record, upload. So, but thanks for calling it exceptional. I do put a lot of time into the channel. It's just not necessarily in the editing. It's a lot of the time is spent in prep. A lot of time is spent in prep and recording are the biggest things. Mostly prep though, especially with the spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are not necessarily the easiest thing to be crunching. It's a lot of crunching numbers, and it takes a lot of time. But I love it. I want to trade it for the world. It's a fun time. But yeah, Salamence, good. Flygon, I mean, it was going to be good just being Mono Avocado. And Crustle, weird. I only time travel to quote-quote Denver occasionally when I oversleep plus dead time or something. Yes, I've gone to bed early and set an alarm to wake up and put the plus to sleep. I'm fine. I've time traveled to Alaska a couple times. I'll be completely honest. I've time traveled to Alaska a couple times to make sure I catch a meal that I missed. Other than that, I don't think I've ever used time travel, but it's not very common that I do that. We're talking like once in a blue moon. I don't do anything insane like time travel to Kiribati, as I've been informed it's pronounced tonight. You know what? I believe whoever it was, but yeah, you're right. It's Kiribati. Okay, that's crazy. I've never been there. Okay, it's the language though. Okay, Kiribati. I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. New tier list. Weird. Avocado does not look like that. The avocados in the game? I mean, it's not the worst avocado. It kind of looks like an avocado. Do I think it looks exactly like an avocado? It looks more like a pear, honestly. It looks more like a pear, I'm gonna be honest. But, like, if someone showed this to me and said this is an avocado, I'd believe them. Like, is it what I would draw for an avocado? Honestly, it looks better than what I would draw for an avocado. I'm not good at drawing. Don't ever ask me to draw. That's not gonna turn out well. Make up a missed meal. Oh, time traveling to miss a meal is also valid. Or to make up a missed meal. I've done that a time or two. Haha. Off topic, but I finally watched Back to the Future for the first time. Interesting sense of humor back then. Back to the Future, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah. Good movie, though. But yeah. How does the Leaf Tornado smoothie look? We need Adrian Styles on here to rate these new meals and how they look. How does the gratin look? How do the guacamole and honestly, these guacamole and chips look fire. I would eat them. Shape and texture looks right for an avocado, but aren't they much darker in color? Are the ones at the store weird? No, they are darker. Avocados. Oh gosh. I forgot about that. I mean, some can be a little bit lighter, but yeah, for the most part, they're more like a dark green, but some are a little bit lighter, I guess. Probably just depends upon the avocado you buy. Like, this is a bit more plump than I think of an avocado, though. I definitely think it looks more pear-ish. I am 30th. Like, can I get a shout-out? Like, 30th... What? I guess that came in later, so I don't know what that was in reference to at this point. Anyway. It's been... I'm gonna be completely honest, it's been great, everybody. But just like with the last time I did one of these streams before making content... I've got a video to make. I've got a news video to make. It's been great streaming for you all, discussing the new Pokemon. But I want to make that news video for you guys to actually get all my summarized video or opinions and thoughts in one place. And for all the people that are going to be watching it post-stream. So, yeah. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe on the stream. Thanks you all for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Have a good week hunting whatever it is you're hunting.